Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Hello.
Hello. Especially strong language because people have strong opinions about bacon.
You're muffled.
I am?
Yeah. Take the thing out from under your bony collar. Greg, that's next week.
No,
that we were talking about an hour later.
I've got my headset and my mic positioned as usual.
Well, it sounds much better now.
That's funny. I didn't change anything.
How do I know that's true?
Because I said so.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine. I believe Trump all the time, too. So, bacon, huh? Why bacon?
Why not bacon? Most
Well,
everybody loves bacon.
Bacon is tasty.
real bacon or fake bacon?
Yes.
Or Dick Bacon?
You can keep your dick bacon.
Dick Bacon was a real person.
You can still keep them.
Dick Bacon was this guy back at home in Milwaukee who was well known by virtually everybody on the east side and lots of people in the rest of the city too, because every day, regardless of the weather, if it was sunny, of course, he would be out at the lakefront with his little reflectors surrounded around him and his aluminum lawn chair, tanning every day as long as it was sunny. Honest to God, in November, January, February, it didn't matter. He was out there.
I was going to ask you to explain regardless of the weather as long as it was sunny.
Yeah, but how many degrees is he from Kevin Bacon?
Probably a whole bunch now. He's dead. He was an older guy. But that was his actual name, was Dick Bacon. And it was interesting because he was bacon out there in the sun. So he was Dick and Bacon.
Well, he's probably not that far from Kevin Bacon now because Kevin Bacon knew a lot of actors and a lot of actors are dead.
Oh, God. Well, that could be. I never checked to see what kind of bacon he was and whether or not he tasted any good. But I know there were a lot of other people who he had that reputation as well. Dick Bacon, remember that name forever.
Okay, so in the side chat, I see Greg and Demon Orb and My Unfinished Journey and the Harmonica Man.
I don't like bacon. I think bacon is a terrible thing, and it tastes horrible, and I would never, ever eat it more than 4 or 5 times a day. I just couldn't bring myself to it.
I saw it was a mug of beer made of bacon.
Okay.
A mug of bacon. Okay.
Yes.
Care to explain?
No.
Okay.
Well, all I can think of is that cafe from the Emperor's New Groove that advertised the mug of meat.
Mug of meat? Boy, am I behind on this one. I mean,
it was just a funny thing in a Disney cartoon. Didn't even affect the plot any.
See, now you just went muffled again, and then now you're back.
I am not changing anything.
Well, yes, you are.
I've got my headset on, so my microphone turns when I turn my head.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you're having the same issues I was having that one time.
Okay, mate, so you're hearing it too.
Yeah, you are going a little bit muffled at times.
All right.
See, now if you were Donald Trump, I'd say that your mic's getting in the way of your neck labia, but I know you're not fat at all, so
Well,
that can't be it.
let me step out of the room here, and I will try
Oh,
to
you got to
reset
get
the
naked?
microphone. I'll see
don't
if
think
I can
it's-
reset my microphone here.
I don't think it's electronic. I think it's positional.
It couldn't
Well,
be
like-
positional.
Yeah, like I say, I've got my headset on, so the mic stays the same position relative to my mouth, no matter how I move.
I don't necessarily believe that that's true.
It is true.
Yeah, Mage has got the same headset I have.
Oh. So you guys have traded head. Is that what you're telling us?
Well, no,
Well-
we've never both been in the same state at the same time.
Prove it. Well, that certainly does look like a bacon mug. How do you keep the beer in it?
I don't know.
It's not beer. It looks like it's full of cheese.
That's good too.
Yeah, it's a bacon mug full of cheese dip.
Oh yeah, there's nothing that makes me happier than a nice warm mug of melted cheese to drink down.
Mhm.
That looks like enough to give at least 4 people coronaries.
You need a really big diameter straw for that. Which brings us back to Dick Bacon. I'm sorry, that was tacky, but I enjoyed it. So now, when we're talking about bacon here, are we talking about store-bought bacon? Are we talking about like homemade bacon? You know, you can buy it bulk and cut it up. Are we talking about American bacon? Are we talking about turkey bacon, chicken bacon, pork bacon, Canadian bacon? And I think it's wrong, by the way, to make bacon out of Canadians. They're really nice people.
Well,
Usually it's called that ham.
Canadians call it back bacon.
Yeah, it's not actually ham. That's a misnomer that Americans seem to have.
Yep.
It's from the loin. My daddy was a butcher. I know these things. It's from the loin, which is like the back,
to be
top
real
back of
bacon, it
the
has to be
creature.
pork.
And the ham is from the legs.
Okay, is this saying better now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let's hope it stays that way.
Do I have a echo at all?
No,
You sound
No.
great.
you sound fine.
Okay. I'm trying out using Bluetooth earbuds instead of the the regular headphones.
You have that studio quality to your sound right now. That when you're done talking, it goes mute, of course, because you're not talking, but it doesn't. You can tell that there's something there. It feels like there's a presence in the room. You know, I don't know how to describe it. A studio just sounds different than a non-studio mic.
Well,
It's very
present.
good. Well, it's your energy, man.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly decent mic for the money. It's a Fifine.
A who?
Fifine.
Never heard of that one.
Spell it.
Fifine.
Fifini.
Yeah, that too. I've only heard it pronounced by Cyrus the Skeptic. I haven't heard it pronounced by a representative of the company. So, maybe.
Excuse me.
Well, Cyrus would know how to pronounce it better than the manufacturer would.
And it was only like $35.
Really?
Yeah.
A true bargain. How long has it been operating for you?
I bought it like 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, that's pretty good. I hear people buying these USB mics, and a year later they're buying another one. I'm going to write that down.
I'm trying to remember when I bought this headset, but I think I've been using it for at least 3-4 years now.
I had to replace mine since the wire was getting frayed pretty badly and was getting this stuff coming out of it.
Yeah.
But that lasted me a couple of years at least.
Journey, is that a USB mic?
Yes.
Yeah, I've generally had pretty good luck with electronics and things that I've always wondered why it was that Soft Girl wound up replacing hers more often than I replaced mine. Like we got the same model television that I bought both of them on the same day. And I'm still using mine, and she had to replace hers 3 years ago.
Well, do you throw things at it?
No, not generally.
Well, there you go.
Well, it's also Mosquito Day.
Not up here. Maybe in Florida.
Actually, it is National Mosquito Day, and that's why I put in the description that it was either this or mosquitoes. I figured that more people like bacon than like mosquitoes, so that's what we went with.
And maybe if you go outside carrying some bacon, that might attract mosquitoes to you.
Oh, I was going to ask if you could make the bacon out of mosquitoes.
You could, but it would be very. I think no. Actually, I don't think you could. That would be more like making scrapple, mosquito scrapple. Which is an appropriate subject since we're talking about bacon. I mean, scrapple, and people try. Scrapple's every bit as good as bacon. Well, no, it's not.
So I wonder how the nutritional content as far as protein and vitamins would compare. You know, what's the nutritional value of a mosquito's exoskeleton?
I don't know, but are insects generally considered high protein?
Yeah, well, that's part of the thing about cricket flour. That's supposed to be a good protein source.
And also, if you're talking about making mosquito bacon, wouldn't that necessarily involve separating the muscle tissue from the exoskeleton?
You want to spend all day filleting mosquitoes? I think most people just throw them in the grinder whole.
I think it would be more like a sausage situation. That's just whatever's nearby, within the chef's reach goes in, and if it hits the floor, you just bend over.
That's what happened to one of my cousins, but
they got caught in a sausage grinder.
Oh yeah, my uncle used to make his own sausage, and all of us had to take turns cranking the grinder while he was feeding stuff into it.
Mosquitoes have a similar protein in 54 to 62% and versus common edible insects 49 to 63% and fat content in 16 to 28% versus common edible insects 18 to 37%.
That's interesting. We may run out of mosquitoes soon, though. I just heard a
darn.
news story. Well, there's a lot of birds and stuff that depend on them, and fish, for the larvae and
Yeah.
things like that. So that could be problematic. I just heard a story on the news. They've come up with a new way to rid ourselves of the mosquito population, and they've genetically engineered a mosquito that when the female is born, which is the only one that bites you, her biter tube, proboscis, whatever pointy thing that is that goes into your skin, grows up like a male type, which is flexible and cannot pierce.
Yep.
So you got all these female mosquitoes around with a limp nose, which sounds like a male problem, but it's.
Yeah, actually, I don't think male mosquitoes feed at all in their adult stage.
They eat nectar.
Well, the female mosquito requires your blood to fertilize the eggs.
Yep.
So, does that mean that mosquitoes are genetically part human?
Well, did you also hear that they're trying to engineer mosquitoes to be able to vaccinate people?
Oh, well, what could go wrong with that?
In my zombie story, the mosquitoes was the way the zombie virus ended up initially spreading.
Well, that would certainly make sense, especially if it's a virus that jumped from another species.
Well, in my case, it was intentional. They were preloaded mosquitoes that were released all over the world.
And what do they hope to accomplish?
Start a zombie apocalypse.
Okay, well.
It was a fanatic group.
In Copernicus Rebellion, that's how they brought down all the world governments, was they engineered mosquitoes that basically promoted metals to disintegrate. They had two different types of mosquito, one that attacked iron and one that attacked aluminum.
Okay, so now we're talking about a mosquito that can pierce iron with its little nose thing.
They didn't necessarily have to pierce it. They were just genetically modified that they would induce corrosion. I'm not sure exactly how they did. They didn't go into details in that one.
Well, yeah, if you just splat them on top of it, you pour right a little moisture, and here comes the oxides. That's a kind of a weak story. I'm sorry, I don't like that one.
Yeah,
aluminum I can see, but iron, I don't know.
Well, it certainly wasn't hard science fiction, but it was an interesting story. Basically, it was about these two guys. It was uncle and his nephew that had broke the genetic code, so they could basically just create animals for any purpose they wanted.
I would think some kind of fungus or bacteria would be more effective.
Yeah, bacteria spray would have made more sense. Yeah, Leo Frankowski, I used to quite enjoy as an author, although it is one that, when I go back and look at the stories in retrospect, it's like they're good stories, but certainly don't try to poke the science too hard.
Well, don't be so quick to judge there. There's been some interesting things going. In fact, I thought I left a link for us so that the rest of you guys could see it in the DM. There's been some scientists who. There's this woman on TikTok. She's a doctorate in biochemistry or something like that. She's really brilliant and a lot of fun to listen to because she covers all sorts of different topics. And she offered mostly just an abstract of a paper because her videos are so short. Of some guys who remember the primordial soup experiment of the 50s?
Yeah.
And they created amino acids.
Yep.
Well, they went to the next logical step after that. And they actually got molecules, inorganic molecules, minerals and things that would actually bond with other things in such a way to create a self-replicating creature. That they've actually created life in the lab, self-assembling, self-reproducing.
I'm sure it was.
Self-
I've heard stuff like this before. There's a question whether if it actually reaches a point of being regarded as actually being live.
it reproduces, it feeds, it expires. It pretty much sounds like life to me.
Well, my understanding was that they hadn't actually produced anything that would be considered a live creature, but they had been able to produce RNA.
Yeah, they have been able
no. These were actually things with an exterior and an interior that would reproduce and would modify. And change.
They have produced things that able to reproduce,
self-replicate.
Yeah, self-replicate. There was a thing from my heard, or at least from the one I heard, was still it lacked a few other qualifications, but. Oh no, maybe this is something different and they've made some advancements.
Well, then again, they still have trouble coming up with a definition for life that fire doesn't qualify for.
Oh.
And they're still not sure whether or not viruses are alive.
Viruses are kind of in a weird state. There are a few things that they miss that they don't quite have. But
oh no, viruses don't exist. That's what all the anti-vax people say.
Yeah. Well, viruses can't reproduce on their own. They have to hijack cells from some other living creature.
So viruses are fuzzy?
I've never seen a fuzzy virus. They always look kind of crystalline or like a ball with lots of hair on it. Well, which is fuzzy? Yeah. I guess
there you go.
Okay.
If they're fuzzy, it might explain allergies.
They look like Shrek's head with too many horns.
Yeah, especially Ronavirus.
Actually, they're not actually horns. Now, I can't remember what the term is for those things, like what a giraffe has.
Knobby things?
Yeah, they're just a little stem and a knob, but they don't qualify as horns.
Huh.
Okay, knobby things.
Yeah, they're not horns or antlers. They've got another term for it.
Yeah, knobby things.
Yep. Well,
Mage
I kind of like knobby things, but
Mage will have to look this up. TV Tube, explain this dream that you have walking around naked in your own home. Why can't you do that now? Don't you have curtains and stuff?
Yeah, I can only do it if I've got all my curtains pulled, which kind of sucks because then I can't let the sunlight in for the cats.
Well, this is farm territory. They know what bodies look like. You don't need to pull any shades here. At least I haven't been told I have to yet.
Yeah, well, I have a park across the street, so there are children walking past my window on a fairly regular basis.
Oh, that would make sense. I'm more concerned about the elderly. They just might crumble if they see me naked.
So purple, they're called ossicones.
Ossicones. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember the term there.
OSICONES?
2 S's.
OSSI?
Yep. Cone.
Yep, because horns are bone, and antlers are actually like hair or fingernails.
Huh.
So that would mean that when they're sexually frustrated, they get ossicone instead of horny.
I guess so. And that's why the male giraffes go and slap each other with their necks.
Oh, you don't live alone. Okay, well that explains a whole great deal. TV-tube, excuse me, YouTube. Sorry, didn't mean to insult you.
Oh yeah, sisters.
What if you were wearing their underwear and t-shirt? Do you think they would? Well, familiarity.
Well, there is one thing that the fire doesn't have that life does. It's homeostasis.
Oh, did I hit the like button? Jeez, I gotta go look.
And it's
Thanks
also
for the reminder, Randall.
And it's also kind of debatable on a few other things like how they reproduce, growth and development, so on and so forth, regulation.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what they consider, to be all the parameters for a life form at this point.
See, generally cellular organization, reproduction, growth and development, response to stimuli, adaptation and through evolution, metabolism, homeostasis, and the genetic code.
Oh.
DNA or RNA, whatnot.
Is that what disqualifies fire? Is that it hasn't evolved?
And doesn't have homeostasis. And it does also doesn't have cellular organization, genetic code.
Although it seems to seek homeostasis.
I don't know if you could. I suppose you could probably cut those two out. I mean,
yeah, Jenny, what were you saying about homeostasis?
Nothing. I shouldn't talk about homos. It's not nice. Homeo, wherefore art thou, homeo? Oh, I'm over here like always. I'm sorry, that was really, really bad.
No, actually, that would be funny if somebody was doing Shakespeare and you just shouted from the audience, behind the curtain, stage left.
That would be good too. I want to know why we ended our discussion about bacon so quickly. There's so much more about bacon that we have not explored here today.
We just got sidetracked about mosquitoes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Skeeter fillet.
Yeah, bacon makes almost anything better. I was kind of grossed out by the trend of them putting bacon on ice cream.
I have had bacon flavored popcorn. It wasn't so bad.
Yeah, well, bacon flavored popcorn I can see.
I'd eat bacon flavored popcorn.
Actually, putting pieces of bacon in ice cream, all I could think about was cold congealed bacon grease in the ice cream. Yeah, and that just seemed really gross.
I don't even like bacon when it's undercooked. It has got to be crispy. None of that curly white gushy stuff on it. Ugh.
Oh,
God, that's disgusting. How can people eat that shit?
I'm not such a fan of crispy bacon. I prefer it when it's still to the point that you can fold it.
Oh.
But it's one of those.
I think we have a war here.
It's one of those tricky things to get it just right, because it's like it's only at that stage for about 10 seconds, and if you don't pull it out of the pan at just the right time.
Well, but if you're doing crispy bacon, you can even take crispy bacon out of the pan, and it's still flexible. And if you bend it, then it will harden in that bent shape for you, so it's much more convenient, easy to handle, and can be used for other tools.
I make my bacon in the microwave, and I have a special tray for it.
Yeah, I love bacon, but of course hate the cleanup. It just makes such a greasy mess out of everything.
Mm.
I understand that some people bake it in their oven. I don't think I've ever had baked bacon.
No, don't think I've done
Actually,
it in
I've
the oven.
I've done it that way, and actually, yeah, it's a lot better to do it that way. For one thing, you can do pretty much a whole pack at one time if you got a big enough baking sheet.
Mm.
And if you put I forget what the stuff is called. It's kind of like the parchment paper, but it can take the heat in the oven.
Well, parchment paper takes heat just fine.
Yeah, so if you put a layer over it so it doesn't splatter all over the oven, you actually you can cook a lot more bacon with a lot less mess.
So I have a question for TV Tube Me. Are you talking? Are you saying that you are a fan of folding bacon, or are you talking about a fan made out of folded bacon?
Ooh.
Because that could
Well,
really waft the odor of bacon throughout the house.
with the arrow pointing at his name, then I always assume the arrow means I am.
How long can bacon keep after it's fried?
Don't know. I usually eat it right after.
I know
Yeah,
that'd be a
I've
hard
never known
hard
it to last
experiment.
more than a day or two.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking of comparing it to my pepperoni experiment. Did I mention my pepperoni experiment?
I don't recall the pepperoni.
No. I've been conducting an experiment on pepperoni for about 6 weeks now. Can't believe I'm telling you guys this. Um, I was just curious. I've been buying pepperoni, okay, and I usually just had it like in a pizza or something else that was prepared that way. And when I went to buy it for the first time in a independent package on my own, I looked all over the meat area, the sausage and all that kind of stuff, and it wasn't there. And I asked the guy, I said, "Are you just out of stock, or do you carry pepperoni?" He says, "Oh, that's over in the pizza aisle." Well, there's no coolers over there. I get there and I look at the package, and there was a Hormel brand and there was a Sugarland brand, and neither of them required refrigeration. Okay, well, foods that don't require refrigeration, meat type foods, protein type fatty things, always kind of get my attention. What's it? Okay, what's in there? Um, so I decided I would do an experiment, and I took a piece of the pepperoni, and I didn't really suspend it, but I leaned it up against something in my kitchen so that there's air attacking all sides of it. And I'm thinking, okay, how long will it take for this very greasy little thing of pepperoni to dry out? 6 weeks later, I'm happy to report to you that it's still flexible.
Yeah, it stays flexible for a long time.
Okay, but even the packs of Hormel pepperoni, doesn't it say to refrigerate after opening?
Well, after opening,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that they
Yeah.
don't have open
You know,
packages at the store.
I'm not sure if I've ever had pepperoni that had to be refrigerated before you're opening it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting because the Hormel brand pepperoni that we got at the food bank a couple of weeks ago said keep refrigerated. It had said nothing about before or after. It just said keep refrigerated. So pepperoni is just such a complex meat. Oh,
Well, you know, long before they had refrigeration, that was really the point of salt and spices was it was more to, keep the stuff from molding or rotting than it was for flavor.
I thought you were going to tell me that they froze bags of pepperoni over the winter and then brought them in house for the summer refrigeration.
All right. That's the best pretty much the tray I have for cooking bacon in the microwave. It has a nice little cover so you don't get the spatter all over the place.
Oh,
My sister-in-law had one, but it was kind of like a pointy cone, an extended cone, a V-shaped thing, and you
Yep.
hang the bacon hanging over both sides of it.
An ossicone?
yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Good callback. I've seen trays like that, but I have not seen one that had its own cover.
Really?
Yeah. Not the ones I've seen in the stores, anyway.
You can get this one on Amazon for like $22.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose now what would make sense, since it's just me alone, I always did the oven bacon because if you're trying to cook enough for 4 or 5 people, it's like the first 2 batches are gone before you get the third one cooked. So they're just, you can't make enough to really go around that way.
Okay, I gotta provide a little shift in our bacon coverage here. Who here has who? Let's see if I can get all the words out without my tongue tying a knot in itself. Who here has? That's hard to say when you get my age. Who here has tried Scrapple?
Not that I remember.
No, I don't think I have.
Anybody out there in the chat?
This is
Scrapple?
Minnesota. This is Minnesota. Only ham is acceptable, or only spam.
Yeah, it might be just me.
Well, I had never heard of Scrabble until about maybe 5-6 years ago, and at a local place that was serving breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, what is that?" And they said, "Oh, it's like bacon scraps all pushed together." Well, okay. Well, I'll try it just because I'm curious. Well, I actually did a little research on the bacon topic here for our show today because I'm such a responsible adult. And Scrapple is made up of not just bacon bits. There may be bacon bits in there, but there might also be a little pig rectum or pig lips or any other pig scraps that you can get together, and they just kind of all grind it all up and mix it with about a 1/3 volume of cornmeal and mash it up good and boil it for a time until it becomes kind of a pasty thing, and then they put it in a form and let it harden.
Almost sounds like spam.
So hence scrap pull.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's about what I thought it was. Well, actually, spam is what Hormel came up with to do with the meat that they felt was unsuitable for putting in their hot dogs.
Oh, that's really comforting.
And apparently Scrapple is what's unsuitable for spam.
Sounds like it, yes.
Well, I was surprised to find that Scrapple has a long history in America. Obviously not in this part of the country, for taking 70 years to hear about it. I suspect down south because, well, down there they'll eat anything.
Well, not anything.
Oh, yeah?
Most things.
You ever been down there and notice how roadkill disappears?
I live in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any? That's really far south. Do you have any roadkill?
Occasionally, you do see the roadkill. Interestingly enough, once you go from across the border from Florida to Georgia, the roadkill count goes up.
The further south you go, though.
Every time I took a trip out of state, and we made that cross over the border, I'd like, oh, there's roadkill. Oh, we're in Georgia.
Imitation calamari?
That's pig rectum.
Yeah, I didn't know they sold imitation calamari. That's a new one on me.
Yep.
Although I'm glad they do. I am opposed to them, harvesting cephalopods for food because they're very intelligent creatures.
Oh, you said not. I'm sorry. I thought you were promoting that concept, and I was going to get mean and nasty.
No, I do not approve of people eating octopus or squid.
Yeah, that's what opposed to means.
So I just missed a word, okay? Sometimes the antenna slips.
Just doing my job of being the one to push the glasses up my nose and say, well, actually.
Now, Jer, I'm. Oh, maybe I should let the joke ride longer before I ruin it. I use that joke too about pig rectum and imitation calamari, because it is not true. There is a lot of belief around the country that that's true. Some guys researched it, and it is indeed just a spoof. It's just not true.
Although it is surprising how many people swear by natural casing sausage and have never looked up what natural casing is. They're squeezing the meat back into the animal's intestine.
All I know is that each one of us has 20 feet or so of it.
Yep. Yeah, if you get natural casing wieners, they have just squeezed all the scrap meat back into the intestine.
TV tube, I agree. I have tried octopus or calamari or whatever they want to call it in reality, and it was the little tentacle things, and it was just the grossest thing I ever put in my mouth, and I will never ever do it again. It's just no way.
Yeah, I tried it like 30 years ago before I realized how intelligent they are, and yeah, it's like you chew the stuff forever. It's very much like chewing on an inner tube.
Yeah, I've had it once.
Yeah.
I had octopus once. It wasn't that great. Not really any flavor to it. It's just
Yeah.
really chewy.
Mage, we certainly talked about it when it happened, but that first anime you shared, Frau Shushu, whatever the whole title was.
Zombieland Saga.
Oh, yes, thank you. And their obsession with keeping squids in your pocket to eat. That was like, okay, cultures have changed. Everybody's different.
Yeah,
We
well-
don't eat dogs. Some places do. It's
You do have to expect that in Island Nation, most of their food is going to come from the sea. Although I do rather like the imitation crab meat.
I'm curious what the price differential is between real calamari and imitation calamari.
No clue. I haven't looked at what that kind of stuff costs.
Or is the nature of the imitation calamari myth is the myth that there is such a thing as imitation calamari?
well, I suppose there could be. Why is there imitation crab?
I mean,
Well, there's imitation crab because it is significantly cheaper than the real crab. It's also more convenient because the way they sell it, you don't have to deal with the shells.
Oh, and this makes me remember a little video I saw this week. Oh, okay. So it's this little video of a meat counter in a store, and there's all these packages of things you can buy and take home and eat. And they came upon a group of packages that had crabs in them, and all the crabs, just sitting there, dead crabs waiting for you to take home and eat. Except this one that apparently wasn't dead, and it chewed its way out of the plastic. It was trying to escape the package.
I've seen that in the stores a
my.
couple of times. That I have seen packs of crabs in the cooler that a couple of them were still moving.
If I lived by the ocean, I would have bought that sucker and let him go just because he earned it.
Yeah, Yeah, the imitation seafood. Basically, they can throw any kind of fish in there, but it's usually mostly whitefish and haddock, just because those are the cheap ones that they can use for it.
Why do they color imitation crab meat red? Why are there like one side of it is red or something like that?
Yeah, that's
The-
just to give it the impression that it's actually crab meat.
Yeah, let's give the authentic look.
Oh, like those painted bananas that I buy.
Painted bananas?
Yeah, they paint them purple. They say that they're imported, but all bananas are imported. So I didn't fall for that one, but they taste banana purple, like purpley banana.
Purple.
I'm not sure what paint they use. I was thinking of going to Sherwin-Williams and seeing if they could help me out.
Jenny, you've let me down.
What?
There we go. Aunt Jer got it. That you're talking about bananas and you're talking about actually eating them. I just didn't expect that from you.
Oh, yeah. Why? What else would I use a banana for?
Well, Aunt Jer got it. Actually, it's the other way around. That bananas are not dildos.
Bananas are much too mushy. Always choose a plantain.
I think that the dried tips would be a problem.
Or a really large turnip.
But especially from you, Jenny, you're talking about purple bananas, so I thought you were going to make some comment about how you got fucked by purple.
If you got a purple banana going, you better loosen that cock ring.
Yeah.
So apparently, the actual ingredient for imitation calamari is squid.
Okay.
Not imitation then.
Pardon?
That's real calamari then. Calamari is squid.
Oh boy, we're a bunch of Midwesterners.
Wait a minute. Did some
Mage,
AI
help us. You
chatbot
live
give
by
you
the
that
water.
answer?
You eat water creatures. Tell us.
Trace information.
Apparently, they're not very forthcoming as to exactly what the imitation calamari is made out of.
Oh, well.
I see. What we have here is the spam of the sea.
However, it would be illegal to sell pig parts, or it's labeled as some other animal, so it's not that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's part of why I had to give up religion, because there were too many religions that told me I can't eat shrimp and bacon, so screw that.
Yeah, screw that. Yeah, really. Oh, and speaking about colored bananas, how's that for bananas?
Oh, that's pretty.
They don't look much like bananas.
Those are real. And yes, they are bananas.
Probably a lot closer to what bananas were originally before we mucked with them for 1,000 years.
A little bit. They do have seeds. This particular thing, they do have seeds. Yeah, they're pink bananas. Actually,
Now that sounds like a euphemism.
They're usually grown as decorative rather than to eat, but you can eat them if you can get around the seeds.
Well, you can eat black walnuts too if you want. It's a hell of a process to go through.
Yeah, it kind of depends how big the seeds are. Are they easy to pick out?
Side note, anecdote, my neighbor has a black walnut tree growing in the front yard, and I don't know, I didn't try to measure it. It's probably damn near 3 feet in diameter, very tall.
Yep.
Squirrels love it, crows love it, blue jays love it. some guy came by and offered them $10,000 for this tree if he could cut it down.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
believe it.
can they really make that much money off of a black walnut tree?
Oh, yeah. It's a very sought after hardwood for making furniture.
Yeah, but that much?
There's an interior look cut for it. You can see the seeds.
Oh, see, now that from that angle, that and lighting, that really does look like a banana.
Yep. But as far as the black walnut, without even cutting the tree down, she could make some money off of that just, selling the nuts or just the shells. Because the shells from the black walnut are, rather sought after for making a natural dye. They make a really nice wood stain.
You mean the hard shell or the husk?
I think they use the actual shell. I think it's like grinding up the shell and soaking it in some solvent.
Yeah, we don't have any of those around here. The squirrels pretty much absolutely devastate the black walnut trees for their fruit.
Oh, I'm surprised that the squirrels don't leave the shells after they take the meat out of the middle.
Yeah, I'm guessing it would be the oil in the shell that would, that would be used for the stain.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful dark stain, and it gives the wood a more aged look, so it makes the furniture look kind of antique from day one.
Tannin content?
Yeah, I'm sure tannin's got a lot to do with it.
Which also makes it so hard to grow anything that matters other than grass around a black walnut tree.
Yeah, it does kind of poison the soil for most other things.
Well, that's actually a little bit overstated.
Well, it depends what else you can grow there. If you can, bring in something that will neutralize it. Actually,
there are quite a number of plants that have that same property, but black walnut, it does have that property. It's been a bit overstated and blown out of proportion as to how the extent.
Yeah, actually, I'm vaguely recalling that. Actually, if you plant clover under it, that I think the clover helps, kind of neutralize that effect on the soil.
In fact, I believe I did a whole video on composting black walnut. Covers some of this stuff.
Yeah, and sure, I guess I agree.
Aunt Jer, I respect your right to eat really chewy stuff.
Now, when you say eat rectum, are you speaking like as in a meal where you consume it, or?
Oh God, no.
Or something more recreational, perhaps?
Well,
well put.
Well, when the topic of cannibalism comes up, they say that, human tastes a lot like pork, so I suppose it would be the other way around, that does a pig's ass taste the same as a human ass?
Well, we do know that robots think we taste like bacon.
Robots think we taste like bacon?
They were testing out a sensor for taste, and one of the guys who were testing it accidentally put his hand on the thing, and the thing registered as bacon. So robots think we taste like bacon.
Well, if it's a good choice if you got to pick one. That's person I consider myself more like prime rib, but
I don't know.
Aunt Jer, we won't pry any further.
We're not going to offer you questions. We just make our own assumptions. Thanks. I love you, Aunt Cherry. You're so good.
Well, if humans taste like bacon, there may be some value to MAGAs after all.
No, I'm not going to butcher one of them. That's
There you go.
Daddy
There's
taught me
my
Yeah,
that ethics
I'll
in the
just be
butcher shop.
soylent on that.
yeah that like there's the black walnut video we did.
Okay.
Well, what we can show it here right now, can't we?
I suppose we're good.
How long is it?
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, if you want to play it.
We can start, and if we
If I have to listen to myself talk.
if we groan too much, we'll just
Well, if
turn
you'd
it
rather
off.
not, people can look it up themselves
Yeah,
later.
beat me to look it up. Give my channel some traction.
Hey, Jim.
Consumption, assumption. What's the difference?
Well, if there's consumption, what about prosumption? And I completely killed the conversation again. I'm sorry, people. I just don't have Sloth Girl's talent. My jokes keep killing the show.
Is this working? I can't hear anything.
Yeah, about the show. Next week we have a decision to make. I unfortunately have to have a doctor's appointment right at the time the show is supposed to start next Wednesday. So, either Mage and Jenny, you'll have to start the show without me, and I'll be back in about an hour, or we could just start the whole show an hour later next week.
Why couldn't you just take your phone with you to the appointment and stream it?
I have never tried to use YouTube through my phone.
Well,
I generally do not allow my phone to have access to the internet.
I think you should stream your doctor's appointment, especially if there's a physical exam. Never mind.
Well,
Actually, Jen, if I was streaming it, HIPAA laws wouldn't apply because as long as you have the patient's consent, the information can be released.
I remember when I went to the dentist, they had this thing saying if they could use any of the stuff for like research or anything. Like, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Jen, do you know the HIPAA laws? Or do you have just like average street knowledge like the rest of us? The reason I ask, maybe somebody else can answer this, not just Jen. See you, Journey. One thing I hear on videos is there's somebody who's videoing something that's going on at a store, waiting in line, whatever. Is you'll get some apparently flaky ass woman or man, but primarily women I've seen it out of, who start screaming at you can't take my picture, it's against my HIPAA laws. And I'm going to myself, well, I think you do not know what those laws talk about, but I haven't looked, so I am open to myself being guilty of an error. And I was wondering if does HIPAA cover anybody divulging something about an individual, or is it restricted to medical personnel?
No, well, the HIPAA only covers medical records.
Right.
So, yeah, just taking a picture or filming someone in a public place is not in any way related to that.
Well, the ones that they've generally been referring to outrageous, insane behavior that they're demonstrating, and so maybe they're considering their mental health that issue. So that's where I'm coming from on that. But yeah, you're right. It has to do with medical stuff. But maybe they have a broad interpretation of that. And I apologize for thinking about this sort of stuff.
I suppose an argument could be made, like if you were standing in line at the pharmacy for the chance that what you were recording might overhear them talking to the pharmacist. That's the only instance I can think of offhand where the HIPAA laws would come into it. That, if it somehow revealed what medication the person was taking, that could be a HIPAA violation.
I've always advised, and I do this because I have absolutely no expertise. I've always advised other trans folks who've described going into the pharmacy, and the pharmacist or pharmacy assistant gives them their prescription and reads back, oh, and this is that blah blah, this been at this dose, and this is for blah blah blah, and it's like, you're a medical personnel, aren't you bound by HIPAA laws too? And suggested that they talk to their person and let them know that they will sue them for HIPAA violations if they ever speak in a volume that the rest of the customers can hear. That some things are just private and personal, and but like I said, I have no expertise, so I'm just kind of assuming.
And yes, pharmacy personnel are included under the HIPAA laws.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, they can't reveal to anyone else what medication somebody's collecting, which is why I often had issues and needed to show IDs and have a code number and everything in order to pick up Slothgirl's prescriptions, because they have to make sure that only people that the patient has authorized can see the records of the prescriptions. Although, you mentioned the pharmacy, and what's it?
I was laughing at Jen.
This is for your piles, and this is for your sore throat. Oh, wait, I have that backward. Yeah, one of my first affirming moments, excuse me, was when I first got on the injectable estrogen. That before I was doing a decent job of presenting publicly as female, I went to the pharmacy to pick it up, and this was this old guy working there. I mean, he looked like he was like 85 years old, and so he goes up, and, well, how can I help you, sir? And then, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it's like, as soon as he saw what the prescription was, he instantly switched everything to female pronouns. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I give you a pass on the mistake. That was common enough. And just as soon as he saw what it was for, he was just so affirming of it.
Well, that's good.
And especially, to get it from somebody who's that old, just shows that, yeah, it doesn't matter, how old you are, you can learn how to treat these things right.
Yeah, that's the number one excuse parents give. Oh, well, I've known you. You're that name for all your life. You're a human being. You're adaptable. It's what human beings do.
Oh, Unfinished is saying it's not just medical personnel. I'm a bus driver for the disabled, and HIPAA applies to me. Yeah, I suppose that would to people who are, doing medical transport.
Jenni, would you also be considered I forget the official word, mandatory reporter of abuse situations and that?
That's a good question. I would think so. Yep. Yeah, and I know that.
Well, please don't ever discuss what we do to Purple around here, okay? Talk to us first.
Hey, there's a reason I'm purple. They beat on me constantly. No. No. My ex is the only person who has ever physically beat me. Well, other than my father, but
Oh, you had one of those too?
my father had a paddle hanging in the kitchen that he had hand carved from a 2x6.
What a nice guy. My dad didn't rely on a paddle. He just used his in the 50s, 60s. It was a nice thin leather belt, like, at tops 3/4 of an inch in width. So it was kind of like a whip. But then he relied also on adjunct assaults employed by my older brother, who beat me up far more times than my dad ever did.
Yeah.
Until I grew an inch taller than him. Then he stopped making those threats until recently. Well, I shouldn't say recently. It's 15 years ago now, but still. He has spent time in the clink for violence.
Yeah, well, I have never had a at all physically intimidating build.
I didn't either. I
always
was just an inch taller and fat.
Yeah.
I had no sort of build worth describing other than bulk.
I was always described as wiry or lanky until I got into my 50s and started putting on some weight around the middle.
You don't really need to have the build to be intimidating.
Yeah, well, I never had the attitude for it either. I've often said I survived my childhood by being good at hiding. So, for me, being skinny and fitting into places that they didn't think a person could fit into was often what saved me. That and the cats showed me all these good hiding places.
You can hide under the fridge?
Well, not under the fridge, but under the wood pile in my dad's shop.
Hmm.
They never found that one. I kept the sleeping bag back there, and that's where I would, often go.
My cat, actually, many cats that I've known, always kept their cat bank under the fridge.
Yeah.
You know what a cat bank is. Of course,
Yep.
you have cats. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Tasha kept hers behind the couch, and this is one of the reasons why, I do not believe that cats are colorblind. Because Tasha only stole red things. And like I could have a bin of Lego dumped out, that was just random stuff, that had like more than 50 different colors in that pile, and she only took the red pieces. So she could definitely pick out red from all those other colors. Which also caused a problem playing Axis and Allies. Because if somebody wasn't constantly watching in Axis and Allies, if somebody wasn't constantly watching the board, we'd come back and a couple of the Russian infantry would be missing.
Did you have any orange pieces mixed in?
Yes.
Hmm.
Although at that time, Lego only had the bright orange.
That might make a difference.
Yeah, the orange was definitely a lot brighter than the red pieces in there.
Because usually it's red and orange they would have difficulty distinguishing as more of a grayish or brownish color.
Dogs get the bad rap too. Oh, dogs don't see in black and white. Well, that's not true. They just don't see the same range of colors that we do.
Yeah,
But
similar with cats.
They can, yeah. I don't know what frequencies they're okay with, but yeah, there's.
Yep.
Well, and then some animals are far superior just because they can actually see ultraviolet and infrared.
I was going to say it makes sense that cats could see the red best because their vision actually goes into the infrared spectrum beyond what humans can see.
Well, red is effective for us too. That's why they use red lighting in airplane dashboards and nowadays cars.
Yeah, Antur, I did often bring books with me in there and did my research projects. Oh, hey, Linda. I'm impressed with the pharmacist changing things, affirming you simply from seeing what was prescribed. Yeah. Yeah, he was a great guy. I wound up switching pharmacies just because they wound up having supply issues and kept telling me that they were out of stock on things I needed. And we have a stool.
No, we have a dolphin. If they want to identify as a dolphin, they're a dolphin. So, Stool, I have a question for you then. Could you answer that, please?
Yeah, Antur, in my preteen and my early teen years, I literally lived in a closet for 4 years. That there was this little closet up at the top of the stairs that was like 4 foot by 5 foot. And yeah, that was my cozy spot. That was where I slept.
I lived in a
Basically
closet.
because it was the only way I could have any privacy in a house with so many people.
I lived in a closet too, but it was more metaphorical. Stool, you're right. I'm impressed. So, did you live there? I mean, were you a hamburger or just a visitor?
Well, I think he got tired of being called a hamburger, so he moved to Frankfurt.
And what do you think dolphin tastes like? We'll have to-
Yeah, I think most Japanese people could tell you, but I had a coworker who identified as a dolphin in a past life or alternative timeline. Yep. Well, see, this is part of the lore for, why I represent as a triceratops, well, as a ceratopsin, because actually I am reincarnated from a Torosaurus that lived in Montana 66.2 million years ago.
Well, I don't know what dolphin tastes like, but I have had mahi.
Now that's just some fish or other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that giant like flatfish that just floats around.
It's often referred to as dolphin fish, or just a dolphin if you're ordering it.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Now that's a thing I've always had. We were always we had that stupid TV show, Flipper, which was a dolphin, a porpoise, and then in the books they show a dolphin as an actual scaled gill type creature with a funny shaped head. Why do we use the word dolphin for both a fish and a mammal interchangeably like that? I don't get it. There must be a history on that.
I don't know, but it probably goes back a couple hundred years. I would guess maybe to the whaling ships when they didn't really know much about animal classification.
Well, they were certainly a known creature way back, even in ancient Roman times. There were statues that included dolphins in them and bas reliefs and things like that.
Yeah, but I'm.
Hi, Tori.
Hey, Tori. Just a question of, did they recognize that dolphins weren't actually fish at that point, or I don't know. There was an interesting thing. Now, I don't remember if it was Greece or Italy, but they had found a grave that was supposed to be a clergyman, but when they opened it up, it had a dolphin skeleton in it.
Well, holy fuck.
Yeah. So, for some reason, the church believed that this dolphin deserved a burial with the full honors of a priest.
Well, there are stories of dolphins saving humans and stuff for forever. So I could see how they would think one is particularly holy. Maybe it had a relationship with the harbor people or something.
Yeah. Oh, but you can't get bacon from a dolphin. So, just leave them alone.
And is there anything edible on their nose? I always wanted to bite my dog's nose off because I thought that looked tasty. That's not true. It was a cat. And I think, about dolphins too. And, well, giraffes. What does a giraffe nose taste like?
I have never really given much thought to the flavor of the noses of various species.
Yeah. I used to wonder what a guinea pig tastes like.
Yeah, but then you found out, huh? Yeah.
Did you remember to remove the fur first?
I didn't do the preparation, but it didn't taste fuzzy, so.
Yep.
I've never had guinea pig, people. It is something that's eaten down in Peru and areas down there, but
Yep.
not up in Milwaukee.
That might be one I might have a difficulty eating, considering I've raised these in guinea pigs before.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look on Google for fried guinea pig, you'll come up with all kinds of rodents that are fried and stuff and eaten by people around the world. I saw this one platter. It looked like it had about 24 rats on it, and they all still had their tails and their little ears, and they were all deep fried.
What? You don't want to open your own rat on a stick franchise?
No, no. I'll avoid that. Thank you.
Rat burger.
Well, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't eat them. I mean, they're just another meat. They're not that far cry from squirrels, and people eat those without objection. What's the deal?
I've had squirrel because my cousin goes out hunting and brings home all sorts of things.
Damn tree rats.
But at least they're cute with the fluffy tail. Yeah, actually, on Jura, I've seen quite a few stories about dolphins and orcas saving people from sharks.
And sure, what is a lymphedema garment? It sounds like there's some connection here between your lymph nodes and your skin.
Let's see here. Etymology of dolphin. The name originated from Greek delphis, dolphin, which was related to the Greek delphus, womb. The animal's name can therefore be interpreted as meaning a fish with a womb.
Okay, but why do we have an actual fish that's called the dolphin and the porpoise, which is called the dolphin as well? And why is it called a dolphin and a porpoise?
Because the fish that's called the dolphin would be the dolphin without a womb.
But dolphin broken down is fish with a womb.
Yeah, well, in the fish, there would be no womb for a dolphin.
No. See, there's words like nonchalant. There's no chalant. It's just nonchalant. Oh, okay.
Apparently, they got the name because they have a tendency. The dolphin fish has a tendency to swim ahead of ships, similar to dolphins. So mahi will.
Okay, so they behave similar to dolphins.
Well, now my life is over. I've learned that the answer to that. Damn it.
Well, I knew they were the inspiration for the Wake Angels in Titan AE.
They're
Hey,
good.
I got a sloth.
They're very tasty fish, though. I would say that.
Dolphin?
Mahi mahi, yeah.
Oh, mahi mahi.
I've never had that.
I don't know. The only ocean fish I've ever had is cod and haddock, of course. Um, uh, whatever it is that they call Chilean sea bass. Whether or not it actually is, I don't know. I hear tilapia sometimes gets substituted, so I'm not sure what I've eaten.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
don't think that. I think that's about it.
Actually, I saw an investigation on that about in restaurants how often they will have a particular fish listed on the menu, but what they are serving is not that species at all. That they often substitute cod or just a white fish for things that are supposed to be much more expensive fish.
I know in terms of fresh fish, I can clearly tell the difference between a perch and a bass and a walleye and that sort of thing. I mean, there's a huge difference in taste and texture and
Yes,
everything.
definitely. Where one of my uncles was caught a fish right out of the bay behind my grandmother's house, and in less than an hour we had that thing flayed and cooked up.
Hi, Molly.
Hey, Molly. Ethan is asleep, but I think he hears me talking about fish, and I think it's affecting his dreams.
I understand shark fin soup is a big thing. I think it was in Japan, but I don't
Yep.
know if it's China as well. But Japan for sure, I've heard.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is
a very big thing in Japan, and
kind of sad because they seem to capture the shark, cut off its fins, and throw it back in.
yeah,
It's like that's
yeah,
pretty
that's
goddamn
horrible.
cruel.
Yeah,
It's waste.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's horrible because without the fin, the shark can't swim right. So pretty much as soon as they throw it back in the water, some predator's going to be on it.
You might as well just keep it and use the whole thing.
That's what I didn't understand of why they didn't just keep the whole shark and get as much meat as they could from it.
Don't eat the liver. It's got
Yeah,
high enough doses of A and D that'll kill you.
yeah. Generally, you don't want to eat the liver of any kind of predatory animal because especially the vitamin A builds up in the liver.
Let's see here, my
So keep that in mind the next time you shoot a Tyrannosaurus. Don't eat the liver.
my AI had dreamed of talking fish.
I'm sorry, say that again.
The AI in my story, he had a dream of talking fish.
Ah,
Oh,
It has a part of it. Its makeup is a dream. What I refer to as a dream module, and basically it's sort of a sandbox for testing out different scenarios. So earlier on, these scenarios are more abstract.
yeah, Molly, you missed all the talk about bacon. So you'll have to play this again from the beginning later.
although there is an area that we did not cover. We did not discuss it all. Making bacon.
I have that game here somewhere.
That's a game. I thought it was
Yes.
serious.
There actually is a game I have for it that it uses little plastic pigs instead of dice, and you score based on how the pigs land.
Oh, do they ever
And
land
yeah,
on their feet?
sometimes,
Okay.
but
Well,
yeah, the highest scoring position is if one of the pigs lands on top of the other pig that's making bacon. That's the highest scoring rule.
Giggity.
Journey, your legs have little valves in the veins as well that help kind of act as a sort of check valve to keep the blood moving in one direction.
That's kind of how we had the alien species I came up with. Instead of having a centralized heart, it would have a network of valves throughout its body.
That's something that for a long time was a real question about, how the sauropods, the really long-necked dinosaurs, could regulate their blood pressure so that the blood continued to go to their brain when they had their head up and didn't give them a stroke when they suddenly lowered their head.
I want to know, where would you get a blood pressure cup big enough, and how much pumping of it would it take to fill it before you can get a reading?
What, on a sauropod's neck? Don't ever
Yeah.
put don't ever put a blood pressure cuff around your neck.
At one point in my medical history, I had to have a chemical stress test. It was at Mayo Clinic, and they don't strap you down, but they put you in this bed and you're splayed out, legs out and your arms out, and they got blood pressure cuffs on each limb, and a blood pressure cuff for your big toe. It was so cute. It's like a regular, and it wraps around and it squeezes and gets tight and all that kind of stuff.
Jenny, if they've got you splayed out with your wrists and ankles restrained, that's not a medical procedure.
No, there were no bananas or cucumbers present. Or speculums, no.
Ball gags?
No, hodags are not allowed in Minnesota. They have to stay in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Specifically around the Wausau area.
Oh, no. There's a huge population of them around Rhinelander because it's the same problem there that they're not allowed to cross into Michigan.
You're right. I confused Rhinelander and Wausau. You are correct. I am wrong.
Was the person who was doing this medical procedure wearing a gimp suit?
No, they were naked. We were all naked. Of course, look, one guy did say nice cooch, but it was all professional.
Well, it better be nice. I mean, you pay a lot of money for that thing.
No shit. Hey, Sinister.
Hey, we were talking about porpoise and dolphins here.
Not you specifically. Don't get paranoid or hate us or anything.
Yeah. We would not harvest you.
Well, I never said that.
Okay, I did not know that they had blood pressure cuffs that small that it would fit around a single toe. I have never seen that.
I just told you that I wasn't kidding. They really did have one.
No, yeah, you said it, and Hunter is, saying that she's seen it too, and I have never seen one that small.
Well, you don't know how big my toe is.
Then again, I suppose that a vet would have to have one that's about that size, because like a kitten's leg is no bigger than my toe.
And what do kitten legs taste like?
Yeah, you just get a mouthful of fur. It's not worth it.
I've had frog legs.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Ooh, what tell us about the experience of frog legs.
They do actually taste like chicken. There's not much meat on them, though.
There's can't be. How do you prepare them? How do you eat them?
I didn't prepare them. I got them at a restaurant.
Well, how did they appear to be prepared? Boiled, fried,
Uh,
raw?
I think maybe fried. Kind of like eating a wing. Like a little buffalo wing. A little bit less meat, but less meat to it.
Buffalo frogs.
Yeah, you can probably do that.
Oh, Heathen Granny has kittens.
Oh, well, then you must tell us about their. No, I won't say that.
It's actually a good thing that my lease restricts how many animals I can have, because yeah, I would definitely be the crazy cat lady, and just all the cats at the shelter that I wind up feeling sorry for.
If I had the money and the space.
Yeah, if I had my own house, I would probably have about 20 cats by now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Porpoise, could you settle the bet, please?
Yep.
I don't really want to pay Aunt Jer, but a deal's a deal. Moist. Ooh, moist is good. I love moist.
Moist.
Oh, it's Athena's birthday.
Moist.
Okay, talking about cat food is an acceptable use of the word. Other than that, it's generally only acceptable talking about bakery products. You can have a moist cake, that's fine.
Or how attracted I am to somebody.
Or soil.
Or soil. Which is not.
Yeah, well, if something is moist because you've just soiled it, I'm not sure.
Oh, so now we're gonna talk presidential politics, huh? Did you hear that fucker actually talking about? Oh, I want to go to heaven. You don't even don't know what it is. B, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, please let him go to heaven. I don't want him to be stuck in hell with me. Hey, maybe we could get him to become Catholic, and then he would just, spend eternity minus one day in purgatory.
No, bottoms are not best soggy. They're just moist is good enough. No soggy bottoms.
Okay, Porpoise, you still haven't answered us if you've eaten Scrapple. We need you to settle that bet. Hey, Sammy.
That would be a wonderful scenario to see. Actually, I heard this story once where Donald Trump passed on and went to hell, and the devil met him there and said, welcome to hell. You have been sentenced to one of three. Oh shit! One of three different scenarios to spend your eternity, and he apparently took him on a tour and showed him the first one. The first one was him being in chains and being beaten by a demon for all of eternity. And the next room that he offered was him being completely naked and attacked by mosquitoes and little burns from sparkler kind of things and that for eternity. And then and he said, no, I don't want to do that one either. And so the devil took him to the next one, and here's Bill Clinton tied down on this bed, and this woman doing the oral number on him nonstop. And Trump says, "Yeah, that's what I would like." And so the Dylan said, "Okay, then we'll set you up for that." And okay, Susan, you can go now. We got a replacement.
Yep.
Well, as it turns out, there was a loophole, and Trump can go to heaven. It's just that all the angels will look like this.
Okay.
oh, can you believe how absolutely ballistic Mega is going because of male cheerleaders in the NFL? Oh, it is so funny.
Yep.
Cheerleaders have been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, I know. And when you say, there were 4 presidents who were cheerleaders, I Roosevelt, Eisenhower, George Bush, and someone else. Who was that? Someone else? I can't remember. Oh well, it doesn't matter. And these, of course, it's pure homophobia, and it's probably the I'm in the closet myself type of homophobia. But it's just so funny to watch them just be so upset about this. It's just a riot. They're such fragile little boys. They're tough. Oh man.
When I'm trying to respond to somebody on Twitter or X, or I'm more increasingly questioning whether the person's actually a person or just a bot.
Not only that, Jer, but I want to see the male cheerleaders. Either the male cheerleaders wear the same shorts that the women are wearing, the same design. They may or may not need extra room in there, or the women get to wear the loose shorts that the men wear. I think it's very wrong to imply one as pure sex object and the other one is kind of sex object. If they're going to do it, then they should do it all the same.
That's reasonable.
I think so too.
I would much prefer that the males get the same shorts without extra room, just so I can see which ones of them need it.
Oh, if they have to wear the same shorts, they're going to be tucking, baby. Those shorts are tight.
I know, but then I'll know which ones I want to ask out.
And interestingly enough, called boy shorts.
Yeah,
So that's another reason that the male cheerleaders should get those too. They're boy shorts. Of course, they should wear those.
I didn't know they were called boy shorts.
Yeah, I have the same position when it comes to high school and college athletics. Like the girls on the volleyball team always are wearing boy shirts, these nice, tight little, cute things. And same in college. And the boys who play the same sport are in these baggy shorts, that they're obviously comfortable in. And it's like, no, why do you make the girls wear that crap? That's not comfortable stuff to wear.
Yeah.
Never really found those loose shorts all that comfortable, but at any rate, I could see how they'd be more comfortable than in something crushing your nuts.
Well, there's also this pucker factor that happens with women that doesn't happen with men.
Yes.
And that's just not comfortable.
There was a girl who was suspended from high school because they said that her skirt was too short to meet the school dress code.
Uh-huh.
And she showed that her skirt was actually longer than the skirts that the school issued for the cheerleaders.
Actually, there was a lot of places that will require the cheerleaders to wear their pants when they're wearing their cheerleader outfit. It's because they don't meet the dress code. That was a thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, they pretty much all have them wear shorts under it because while they're doing their routine, the skirts can tend to fly up.
No, I mean during class, it's a tradition for them to wear their cheerleader outfit. It's during the day in school, before a big game. So, but since the skirts don't meet the regulations, they had to wear shorts along with it.
Well, it also feeds into gymnastics. I mean, look at the girls' gymnastics uniform, or
Yep.
the girls' figure skating uniform.
Yeah, tight outfits do help with that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, especially in gymnastics, I understand that. And well, for men too. I mean, we've seen that it makes a difference for pole vaulting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been my experience in pole vaulting that I've seen women and girls wear the same thing as the boys. And then you get into the sprints and foot racing, and then suddenly you have a difference again. And it's just women's sports are just made sexual.
Oh yeah.
Unnecessarily. And if you want to do that, okay, fine, do it to the boys too.
Now they're throwing green dildos out onto the court.
Oh, because of the male cheerleaders?
No,
No,
the
the women's NBA.
Yeah, women's basketball. There's been the whole thing about throwing green dildos onto the court, and people are starting to bet on whether the dildo is going to be thrown onto a court and what color it's going to be.
Yep.
It sounds hilarious, but it's not really. When you actually get down to the mechanics, it's not good.
No.
When does the throw take place? In halftime?
I imagine there's probably bets on that too if people are betting on it.
Because I've watched.
Of course, there's also been the question of how are they sneaking these dildos in?
Well, in your pants, duh.
Well, yeah, and I don't think that the dildos are likely to set off the metal detectors.
Okay, Mac, you're gonna have to take one for the team. Sneak this in.
If I had to sneak one, that's how I would do it. Except a more convenient location.
Yeah.
Sinister, you are absolutely correct. Scrapple and Spam are not comparable. Spam is chipped ham, and Scrapple is ground up and boiled pork stuff.
I think Scrapple contains about 50% more lard.
Well, actually, I looked these things up today, and Prison yes, that's right. I hadn't remembered that. Thank you, Jer.
Yes, actually, that's the important difference. Spam is at least actually all animal products. We don't have any of that, imitation stuff or that, vegetable filler. Grain and vegetable filler in there.
Which is worst for you? And this is how this article was listed, and I'll try to recall it as accurate as I can. Which is worse for you, bacon or sausage? Breakfast sausage, we're talking. Buckwheat is great. I love buckwheat. Sausage, actually. Bacon has less fat, has more protein, and it's just. I think it has more salt.
I was gonna say I'd think that bacon would have more salt, but
salt is what preserves sausages. That's why you can have sausages hanging from the roof.
Yeah.
Ceiling.
Well, and the sausage would have a variety of other seasonings in it.
Maybe. Scrapple has seasonings in it. So does sausage. But bacon is just bacon unless it's smoked. and between, let's see, bacon and scrapple, scrapple was much worse for you than bacon. Much more fat, much more salt, much more everything.
So which sausage would have the most seasoning?
It depends on who's making it.
Well, no, I mean, obviously it would be summer sausage
Why?
because summer's a season. Like I say, I can't do it as well as Soft Girl. I keep mucking these up.
See, now you're making me crave pepperoni. I've become a pepperoni junkie. I admit to buying it, and I eat it not like potato chips, but it's just a little snack thing. I keep a few discs of pepperoni on hand, and
It's good.
just munch a few.
Oh yeah, Soft Girl used to do that too.
I used to do that. And I always save it for my pizzas, but
Well, she'd buy it for the pizzas, but she'd wind up going in the fridge for a snack and just grabbing a half dozen slices of pepperoni.
yeah, I've done that too.
I have, however, prepared an experiment for all of us, including myself, because I've never done this before. We're going to try to combine pepperoni with peanut butter. Are we ready?
Pepperoni with peanut butter. That doesn't sound like a good combination.
Well, I have just smeared the peanut butter, creamy, not chunky, on half of the pepperoni disc. Now I'm going to fold it over like a taco and squish it together, and get it stuck together real well. There we go. Okay. And now I'm going to try it.
Okay.
I don't know. It might not be that horrible. I mean, I have seen peanut butter put with some other highly seasoned meats. Not that I would eat it myself, but then again,
I've tried weirder things. So.
Yeah, I have learned to avoid peanut butter myself, but
it's pretty good. I like it, and I am psychopathic, but that's not why I eat chunky.
Hold on.
I do not know why we are associating them with Donald Trump. I don't. Yeah.
I didn't make that association. Not me. Both peanut butter and pepperoni are useful. Doritos and cake icing.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you ever dip your pizza in ranch dressing?
No. I'm also, about the only thing I really like ranch dressing on was raw vegetables. I tend to prefer, more tomato-based sauces.
You're right. I did say taco.
Yes.
See, now this experiment with peanut butter and pepperoni makes me wonder, maybe I should try peanut butter on the entire pizza. And then if it's good, could I gross out pineapple people?
Unfortunately, I have seen a recipe for peanut butter pizza. I had hoped that no one would ever remind me of that. Although I can see peanut butter and pineapple going together.
I put peanut butter on garlic toast all the time. It's one of my favorites.
Lavender Lady used to talk about peanut butter and garlic sandwiches.
Peanuts are used in many different Asian dishes.
Yeah, well, especially Thai food uses peanut sauces for a lot of things.
I haven't had dessert pizza, but I have had desert pizza. But that was only because my timer wasn't working.
So what do you top a desert pizza with? Tarantulas and scorpions?
No, same as a regular pizza. You just don't take it out of the oven until it's really, really dark. Also known as Oops Pizza.
Yep. I do have a loaf of garlic bread that I was thinking I would just make into garlic bread pizza.
Well, pepperoni and peanut butter. Not a bad flavor, but has a bit of a funny aftertaste.
Oh, you tried it?
Yeah, just why I went and tried one. Had a new thing of pepperoni in there, so.
Yeah, I expect the aftertaste is the combination of the pepperoni oil and the peanut oil.
Mm.
See, that's the difference. I'm naked here and I sucked my toe.
My mom used to make a dessert pizza with sugar cookie base, sweetened cream cheese sauce, slices of fresh fruit, and an orange glaze. Yeah, that sounds like that could be good.
Yeah.
But is it pizza?
Yeah, well, that gets into, yeah, that's the question. How do you define what pizza is? Well, we've got there. If we do that, we've got Jenni in stereo now.
Okay, if that's the way you want it. But you notice I wrote new on my new one. Welcome back, Jenni.
New Jenny
Thank you,
is
thank you.
much better than that old Jenny.
Yeah. The producer for Natalie's stream was having internet issues. So after 45 minutes, he's like, yeah, we'll have to reschedule.
Aww.
So, so my theory is that the Netherlands are having currently experiencing an allergic reaction to the orange Cheeto.
Either that or one of China's ships has accidentally entangled the cable again.
Sure.
Now, why would anybody have a problem with our president? I am so horrified with what he is doing to the Oval Office. I mean, it keeps getting worse every week. There's more gold shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a kid smearing its own feces on the wall.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
You know what? We can only hope.
Well, and unfortunately, he is doing to the inside what Melania did to the Rose Garden. And it's like, yeah, by the time we get to the next presidential election, are they going to decide that it's not salvageable anymore? Let's just bulldoze the White House and build a new one?
I'm hoping we even have another one.
Yeah.
You did flirt with the one idea of starting a war or to stay in office.
Oh, I was expecting that to happen.
Yeah, he made that comment the other day. That's on tape, and he did that on his first term too. Made that comment that, well, if there's a war, I can't now. You can't get elected, hold an election. Well, which is but complete bullshit.
Well, and apparently
we've had wars before and held elections.
But people generally don't want to switch presidents during a war. That's what he's, going under.
Then he should say that.
Yeah, but apparently he has laid out a plan for a war with Mexico.
Oh.
That it's gone beyond just volleying missiles over into Mexico, hoping you hit the cartel. That there's apparently he asked them to come up with an invasion plan.
Mm-hmm. That makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I can believe that people in his own cabinet are concerned, so they try to come up with things to distract him. Well, if we take over Mexico, he'll just send them all to El Salvador.
And there have been quite a number of Republicans flirting with the idea of going to war with Mexico, so...
The president of Mexico, I believe, has a PhD in economics. And here they're getting the bad rap, and our leader has got a 4-year degree that somebody else earned for him at a college that he won't admit he went to.
Yeah, but ours went into debt 6 times.
Yeah, really, has the president of Mexico even bankrupted a casino?
Really? I mean, how can you compare with that?
Yeah.
All right, he does have some experiences nobody else on the planet does. I just want to know why all the brown Swiss crowds around here get nervous every time he came to town on the campaign.
I don't know, considering how competent so many of his other plans have been, I could see going to war with Mexico and then wind up taking back all the territory they owned up until 1812.
I would love to see all that ceded back to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, that Mexico gets New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, half of Texas, and a third of California back.
However, there is the Gadsden Purchase, which was actual money exchanged for that little chunk at the bottom of Arizona. Americans are so pompous with our recognition of whose goddamn fucking continent this is.
Yeah.
It just makes me so mad.
Well, like the Louisiana Purchase, we paid money to France to take over the land that France had never knew existed a couple hundred years before.
I mean, I learned something in terms of archaeology I did not know. This is the last year or two I learned this. We all know, we've all heard about Clovis Point, and that there were likely indigenous settlements 12,000 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're beginning to say they think they have evidence that shows that we can go back to indigenous cultures 20,000 years ago.
Yeah.
In this continent. And then I learned.
Oh, Jenny got cut off in the sentence.
Oh.
So apparently whatever she learned was a really dangerous secret that the deep state doesn't want us to know about. And that's why she got yanked.
Yeah, can't be a coincidence that I was hearing sirens just as that happened.
All right, you're doing this to me purposely.
No, that's purposely.
Oh, where did I get booted?
You got cut off mid-sentence, so start over.
Which sentence?
You were saying that you learned that, and that's when you cut off. So apparently, the deep state doesn't want us to know whatever you learned.
Well, it is secretive. We all know that in Central America, there's monuments, cities, pyramids that have been covered over by the jungle, and that they've begun to expose them and just learn huge volumes about indigenous cultures, how far back and stuff. On public television, there was a show that where I learned something new that I had no clue, is that the same thing is true in the entire fucking Amazon rainforest. They say is littered with civilizations that easily go back that far, that they're beginning to spot, with that fancy radar stuff that they use, and digging and poking around with archaeologists, that they had no idea. They thought it was a jungle forever, that it's just jungle. And no, there are small cities and stuff in the middle of the Amazon that they're beginning to uncover. I had no idea. And it's fairly new. I mean, this has just been in the last 10, 15 years that they've been making these discoveries.
Yeah,
so it's not like I was sleeping in school.
That there's also, even been some discoveries like in the area of the Pacific Northwest, that they're finding human artifacts that are older than they thought they were, and they had assumed that humans had just come over when the sea levels had dropped enough for them to walk across the Bering Strait. But they're now finding some artifacts that I think may be, older than that, before the Bering Strait was accessible. So they're arguing about whether or not these prehistoric humans were actually coming over on some kind of rafts or boats.
For me, it's the argument that down in Central America, things, the Mayans and Incas and their histories, is they're building these structures that are every bit as complex, advanced, and difficult to do for a primitive people as anything that they built in Egypt, and appear to be twice as old. And so all these white guys from Europe build these boats and come over and say, "Oh, this is ours now," and it's like, well, fuck you, just fuck you and all the ships and horses you rode in on. It just makes me so mad. This is not our land. We are here illegally, every one of us.
Yes, but Porpoise, the Jews and their wooden submarines landed on the East Coast. So I was referring to boats possibly, doing island hopping across the Bering Strait and coming in on the northwest coast.
Well, there's also the discussions that have gone on for years with Thor Heyerdahl and his missions to try to duplicate seagoing canoe and boat structures from the Polynesian islands to Central American coasts and South American coasts. Kon-Tiki, his book about that shows it was very, very possible that it had been done.
Yeah, that coming across Polynesian islands, definitely, to get to Hawaii, and that, it did seem reasonable that if they got that far, they probably could have gotten some boats from the Hawaiian Islands to points in South America based on how the currents ran.
Oh, no, not even there. Southern Polynesia, Oceania, as we call it today.
Mm-hmm.
Way south from Hawaii. Hawaii is not that far south.
Yeah.
Years ago, this old house had one of their their host was named Steve Thomas, a young guy, very nice. I really liked him as a host. He was a very smart guy, and he was very heavy into sailing and that sort of thing. And he apparently did a documentary or was involved with a program that worked on theories and stuff about the Polynesians as navigators. And the Polynesians who've kept that skill over the centuries are able to read the sky well enough that they can sail like 700, 800, 900 miles in a canoe in the ocean and get to one specific island. Just straight line, we're there. It's like, holy fuck. And so the program was about that. It didn't go through every detail of how they did it or anything like that, but it's by the way they read the stars. They can read the waves, the direction of the waves, the intensity of the waves, and of course they can read the meteorological signs and know exactly where they're going at any time. And they just go from point A to point B across hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles of open ocean.
Well, and just even how they can, steer those boats so accurately, just to manage to correct for the currents and for, weather, just for the wind and waves, to be able to correct their position well enough to land on islands that are, like a tiny speck out in the ocean.
Well, that's part of why I'm bringing it up now is it's part of the chauvinism that white people have of themselves over other people they're not sophisticated, they're primitives. They're not sophisticated. Well, then why could they accomplish what you couldn't do until you got a sextant? They don't need a tool. They have their eyes and a paddle.
Yep.
Now, explain to me which is more sophisticated. Well, I just hate how pompous white people are about our history.
As I understood it, one of the techniques they used was actually, sighting a star up even with the top of their mast. And that based on how far they had to lean over the boat to line up that star, basically is how they figured out how many degrees they had to turn.
That seems reasonable. I mean, you can, hold your fist up and measure how many degrees above the horizon something is.
Yep.
And, office are different, so it's, there's slop factor in it, but you can get an idea. I don't remember what the formula is, but.
Yeah, but if it's something your life depended on, you would remember that formula.
Oh, what day is today, numerically?
20th.
20th.
We should be right in the middle of a major solar storm. They've been saying it's going to show up between the 18th and 26th, I think they said. Something like that.
Maybe that's why people are having such shitty internet.
I suppose it could be.
Well, yeah, I know that, solar flares, can disrupt some satellite communications.
Unless you're talking to Ron Johnson, then he'll say, well, that's what causes global warming. Senator Sunspot.
Yeah. Well, I know that they're, I've read some things about them having concerns that, I forget what year it was, but back at one point that there was a solar flare that shorted out telegraph lines.
Yeah, that was 1800s.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they've been saying that, the flares of that size aren't really that uncommon. It's just a matter of whether or not the side of the sun with the flare is facing where the Earth is, and that's why we don't see them so often. But yeah, that what would happen today if a flare of the same magnitude, happened to erupt with the Earth lined up right, that could, just knock out satellites and cell phones and all sorts of stuff.
Take us back to the 1700s, basically.
Yeah, that it really could cripple our communications.
We'd go back to tin cans with strings between them.
Carrington event? I don't know. Is that the name for it?
I do not know. I'm aware of what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, that's it's something I read about. I don't remember any of the specifics. But yeah, that's, the electronics we have are certainly a lot more sensitive to an energy burst than telegraph lines were.
The Carrington event, which occurred in September 1st, 1859, was the largest solar storm ever recorded.
Okay. There we go. And, and it's like, probably that would shut down every car manufactured since about 1990, because they've all got computers in them now.
It would actually go back older than that, into the 80s. Cars started having electronic ignitions.
Oh yeah, I know that some of them in the 80s did, but there was a period there. That's why I said the 90s, just to be safe. Although then my 95 Geo Metro would really be prized. It would be one of the few cars that would still run.
Mm-hmm. And all those little BMW Isettas I rebuilt.
Yep. Yeah, but basically, yeah, if you got a fuel injector instead of a carburetor, you'd be screwed. The engine wouldn't know how to do the timing, so it wouldn't run.
Ooh, what does it mean when you get a pepperoni disc that has a big black spot in it?
I would guess that's probably a peppercorn.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't want to bite into.
Oh, I've bitten into peppercorns. They're not a big deal.
Yeah. Randall, cursive is our secret code, because nobody under 30 can read it.
Did you really, Randall? I hope you make a bunch of money off that. Some school systems have talked about reinstituting it. It took them a few years, but they realized, oh, that was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe that my nephew got through high school without ever learning how to sign his name. Yeah, I keep watching O'Reilly for the flux capacitor, but they're always out of stock.
They have problems getting enough neodymium.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I'm just going to have to make my own out of duct tape and plastic straws, and I'll just have to power it with a bit of the Naquadah I've got instead.
And doesn't neodymium sound like the kind of thing that should be powering a starship?
Yeah.
It's got that, dilithium crystal. Oh, God, how uninventive. Neodymium. Ooh.
Yeah, you would think that by the time they got up to Star Trek The Next Generation, they'd at least be using trilithium.
Trilithium was usually either a byproduct of dilithium, or it was a substance that could be used to stop up a star.
Yeah, well, I mean that's how they would have gotten from the original warp drive to the transwarp drive, right?
No.
I,
Yeah.
I started a new project that this fits into right away. I decided I was going to go back to college for another refresher of biology, and it was so gratifying. My first lesson was just a 45-minute lesson, and it was all about the water molecule and
Uh,
its bonds and how it all works. And it was it's a complete refresher, but it was real nice to hear it talked about. And I'm sorry, that was really boring. I apologize.
well, the tech
It's
school here is actually, they do career training things for free, and I saw they've got posted again for free welding courses again. So I want to see, what their qualifications are if I can get in for that, because I can do basic welding, but I certainly would like to learn some more advanced techniques.
Go for the TIG welding. You got to become a good TIG welder. You can make clear 100K a year.
Yeah, well, I can do arc welding fairly decent, but I've never done TIG welding.
But I get that. Yeah, chemistry. Yeah, a lot of chemistry is the geometry of how the different molecules interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I can almost see it being represented as like semaphores. With the oxygen has the flags held like this, and carbon has flags held like this and that, and
105 degrees if memory serves.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it has to do with just like how many connector points each atom has,
and that they have to balance out to where the hydrogen molecule is actually attached to the oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's just neat, and you got to, those of you guys who don't care about these sorts of things, you got to know about water if you're going to learn anything in biology. You have to understand the molecular bonds and how it behaves and all that kind of stuff, because we are 3/4 water.
Well, and that's why when they're looking at exoplanets, that their main criteria is they think that for life as we understand it to exist, it has to be somewhere that there would be a possibility of there being liquid water on the surface.
See, that's one of the pieces of chauvinism of human beings. Is, I know they always include that life as we know it, but that's a big fucking statement. It's life could be so different than what we understand.
It's not really chauvinism. It's just a matter of we only have one example to go by. So they can theorize that there could be other ways that life could exist, but, we've never seen how they would work because we can't create the different climates that would be required.
Well, I know it's like trying to build a model to prove gravity. Let's go build an 8,000-mile diameter globe and test gravity.
Well, Jenny, that's been my answer. That my ex kept asking, "Don't I have enough Lego?" And that's I will not have enough Lego until I have enough to build a 1-to-1 scale model of the Earth. Okay, it can be hollow, and I'm willing to use Duplo blocks for internal supports.
That's still a whole lot of Lego. Or a whole lot of Legos, depending on what convention you want to use.
Nope. There's no S. The founder of the company stated that It is never Legos. It can be Lego bricks or Lego elements. But if you're just saying Lego, Lego is singular or plural.
So
Just
what?
because that's the way the Danish language works.
So what? Who's that guy to make rules about what you call the product? Come on,
Yeah,
respond.
I'm pretty much going to go with. I'm pretty much going to go with the family that's owned the company since the 1960s.
Okay, so the creator of the item gets the naming rights, huh?
That's generally how things work. That
Yeah.
whoever
So that means
first built it or whoever first discovered it gets to name it.
And so that's why it's called GIF, not GIF.
What the
Yep.
peanut butter? The peanut butter?
No, the file type. GIFs. GIF images.
A guy who created the file type says GIF. It's
GIF. It was based off of the peanut butter. Choosy programmers choose GIF.
No,
that was a joke.
Graphic. Oh, okay. Graphics information. Interchange. Format.
Yeah, that was a joke that where the name was derived from.
I like it. That's a good joke. So if you ever hear anybody get into that silly argument, tell them fuck off. It's GIF.
So, would I give you a gift?
I don't care. You can play word games all day. It's GIF. and G's and J's are pronounced lots of different ways. Sometimes G, sometimes J. My brother's name is not named Jerry, it's Gary. But it's still GIF.
Yeah, and like those Brits that spell Jeffrey with a G.
Oh, God, whoever would go through life with that name? We miss you, Scummer.
So, we've been going about 2.5 hours. I think maybe we should wrap it up here.
It's like,
is that a thing or an order? Oh my
Well,
God, are those ugly shoes?
If you have another topic you want to ramble on, I will just step out for a minute and come back. Yeah, we'll keep going as long as you got topics.
Well, there is some argument of Trump paying for his SAT scores, which actually makes sense considering how dumb he seems to be about economics.
Yep.
He was got in under fraudulent admission. He wasn't that as well known when on campus, according to people who were there. Apparently, at least in private, his teacher said he was the dumbest student he ever had.
Okay, I'll be right back.
And linguists measure his speech patterns for years and say this guy is no better than 3rd or 4th grade.
Yep.
His actual scores are sealed, but his claim of being top of class doesn't seem to hold water, seeing as he's not listed among the Magnum Cum Laude.
Are you like me in love with what Gavin Newsom is doing to Donald Trump right now?
Yes.
I gotta give him credit. I gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I don't know much about Gavin Newsom, but boy, this is just a stitch.
He's not so good. I wouldn't want him for president, but he's done some things.
And the maggots are so. Well, you should do that. It's just childish.
Oh, okay.
You're just doing what. He's just doing what Trump does on a daily basis.
Yup. Precisely, almost to the word in some cases. Oh, it's just so enjoyable, and I love the graphics that people are putting together. one of my favorite ones is I just saw yesterday for the first time. He's riding the back of a alligator or crocodile, flying through the air with 6 shooters in his hands. Blam, blam, blam.
Nice.
And he's got another version of that where he's on a shark instead, but that's also got an eagle landing on his shoulder or something. Oh.
Oh, did you know it was Gene Roddenberry's birthday? It would have been his birthday yesterday.
How old?
I'm not sure. He died in his 70s, so in 90s. Though I did find out that he was born in El Paso, which is the same place I was born in. That was interesting to find out.
And you're both into sci-fi, and you're both right. You're Gene Roddenberry, aren't you? Come on, admit it.
He died in 91.
Yes.
God, is that long? Holy cow.
Anyway, that's going to be
Sorry, Jenny,
something
I have to correct your pronunciation, but that's Gene Roddenberry.
And George Orwell.
Gay or gay. Got to be consistent.
Well, and
Can't do one. Can't do one G one way and the other way.
Yes, you can. You just have to be a little more mature about this. It's language. It's what we do.
Especially in the English, where it's with several languages in a trench coat.
Yep. Well, English doesn't. A lot of languages borrow from other languages. English just follows other languages into a dark alley, roughs them up, and goes through their pockets for loose grammar.
And let's not forget the spelling of Jorge. Isn't that right, Jorge?
Yep. I was about to bring that up, that we've got to remember that, yeah. Yeah, in Mexico, the J is often pronounced as an H.
You mean as in like jalapenos?
Is that a spicy antique car? I don't know.
There was this Mexican. There's this Mexican restaurant that opened up in Milwaukee. One of the best Mexicans I've ever been to. It's just wonderful. And it was named after a particular state in Mexico, Jalisco, which of course is spelled with a J. And it took years for them to be around before people stopped calling them Jalisco. Come on, Milwaukee, you have a huge Hispanic population here. Why are you saying Jalisco?
Well, because why should they trust that Mexicans know how to pronounce their own language?
Oh God, I miss that place. I would love to go back there. Their fucking burritos were the size of a dinner plate, and like 3 inches high. They were just there's no way you could eat one at one sitting.
When we were living in Michigan, Sloth Girl and I found a good Mexican place in Rhinelander, Wisconsin.
So who likes those jalapenos?
It depends on how they're used. Jalapenos are okay and some stuff, but just so there's not too much, because I'm very hot phobic.
The Russian version of George is Georgi with hard G's.
No, it's Georgi, not gay orgy.
Georgi.
Georgie.
Well, it might be Georgi in some circles. In the Kremlin, Putin.
I'm sorry, but I have very little experience with Russians. I have more experience with gay orgies.
Jeez, I've never
Hey,
been
how
to,
do you think I got my body count up where it is?
I've never been to any orgy.
But where do you
Never,
hide them
ever.
afterwards? Oh, wrong body count.
Well, that
At John Wayne Gacy's house.
well that
You know what the temperature at John Wayne Gacy's house always was? 27 below. Boom, boom.
that's like how many dead hookers does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
Well, it's more than 8 because that one in the cellar is still out.
Jesus. But I think we're going to get canceled.
Oh,
Oh, a change from a week ago. The Brewers' streak has ended at 15.
The Brewers were streaking the whole team?
They were. When they streaked for 14 games in front of God and everybody. And then they went and lost to the Cubs twice. Oh my God. How embarrassing. I predict a Milwaukee Brewers and Toronto Blue Jays World Series.
Okay, somebody has to remind me. I don't remember who or what H.H. Holmes wrote.
About his brother Sherlock?
Sherlock just sounds like it's a brand for keyed entries. Okay.
Or an old Hebrew curse word towards somebody.
he was a serial killer.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just typing it in myself, and I just got the Wikipedia for it. Yep, an American con artist and serial killer from 1861 to 1896.
Boy, he got away with it a long time. How did they catch him? His walker wouldn't let him go any faster. Oh, the Murder Hotel in Chicago. Oh.
Yep.
That's really creepy. That for that many years, nobody noticed.
I imagine they kept moving around.
Well, I'm betting that they didn't even notice the murders, that they probably arrested him for the horse theft. Because people were cheap, horses were expensive.
During the Chicago World's Fair. Wow. Maybe he set up the World's Fair himself just to get more targets. That's what I think happened.
Yes, he organized the entire World's Fair just to attract more victims to his hotel.
Exactly.
It sounds like quite the master plan. And he even did it without any henchmen.
Guess he should have just stuck to people.
Yeah, like I say, if he hadn't stolen the horse, they probably wouldn't have paid any attention to him. You know, it's not like the police actually investigate when people go missing.
Well, they do.
It depends on how well connected the missing person is.
Crime solving is nothing like television.
Yeah. Well, Unfinished has it right. If the person is from a low-income neighborhood, they're not really going to spend any time on it. Because police aren't about protecting the public. Police are about protecting the property.
Yeah. Yeah, don't let the motto fool you.
Yep. Yeah, which is why we need to dismantle the police force and rebuild it from the bottom up. And that does not mean sending federal troops into cities.
Well, you know, another piece of the oligarchic takeover of the nation is going on, and people are just starting to understand it now. It's been going on for years, but now it's got free reign, and that is billionaires through their corporations or whatever their structure, buying up single family homes. That's what all these guys on TV. Oh, we buy your home. You know, these are all little funnel groups to the billionaire corporations.
Yeah.
So once they do that, they can fix all sorts of things like who gets to live in what neighborhood and how much they pay, and damn with how it affects the rest of the market. Because every time the corporate places raise their rent, all the private landlords raise their rent too, even though they don't need to. Their taxes haven't gone up, their payments haven't gone up. Just somebody's permission to raise it higher, and it's screwing over everybody in the long run. These guys are they're doing the same thing with family farms. They're buying family farms from all around here. We see it happening. And all of a sudden it's corporate. And then in a lot of places it lays fallow for years. So it's just corporations and billionaires are just a bad thing for everybody.
And churches. Actually, a lot of the farmland in the western part of the Midwest, a lot of it has been bought up by the Mormon Church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're part of it too. They have billions and billions of dollars.
Yep, and of course, you know, these are the people who get the tax breaks, so they don't have to pay any kind of taxes on the land they've got sitting idle. Whereas, you know, if you or I owned a piece of land somewhere, we'd be having to pay the taxes on it every year.
And then their little monkeys in their MAGA hats run around and show you these maps of, look at all this red compared to all that blue.
Yep.
Well, open land doesn't vote, you asshole. These people, we are so fucked.
Yeah, because how many registered voters are there where you're grazing cattle?
Well, the cattle have rights.
Granted, I think the dairy cows would probably be more intelligent voters than a lot of my neighbors. But I mean, I think the cows at least would not vote for somebody who owns a hamburger stand.
Why? Chickens vote for Colonel Sanders.
Well, chickens are dumb.
I was using it as a metaphor for MAGA. They all vote against their own best interest. They don't care.
Well, that's what I mean. I think the cows would be more intelligent than that.
Just share the hate.
I wonder if the cows would vote for Ben and Jerry. Did you hear that Trump is suing all of the federal judges in the state of Maine?
No, I didn't hear that one.
That yes, they are having to bring in a federal judge from Virginia to to hear the case, and the judge from Virginia who is hearing these cases has so far been doing their best not to laugh at Trump's attorneys, but
What are
repeatedly
the
telling
grounds?
them,
What are they being sued for?
just because Trump doesn't like their decisions.
Right. What's the grounds that they say that they're suing for?
Yeah, I forget what it was they said they were suing for, but that was basically the gist of what I got, is that the Vermont judge, or the Virginia judge rather, has basically been saying that you don't have any grounds to bring a case against these people.
Yeah, like him saying that we're going to shut down all these state elections.
Yep.
No more mail-in ballots. Well, you can't regulate what the state is doing there, asshole. But he's going to try it anyway.
Yeah, well,
And he's going to continue voting mail-in ballot himself.
Uh-huh.
he's going to try it, and unfortunately, in a lot of states, there are enough Republicans in control that they will adopt some of his ideas for who's allowed to vote.
That concerns me here in Florida.
Yep.
Let's see, was it Georgia? Georgia is going through their voter rolls again and doing a purge.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get rid of another million or so.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how it is that Americans as a mass, not as individuals, but as a mass, are so goddamn fucking stupid as to let this go on. It's embarrassing to fuck.
Well, and I have lost all faith in
the expression "embarrassing to fuck" conjured up a different image in my mind.
Oh, well, tell us.
But nah.
Okay. Okay.
So instead of a red shirt, you're just going to sit there with a red face, huh?
That looks peach. That's not
right. Yeah,
red.
sure.
Yeah, his shirts have been becoming lighter and lighter each time.
He's trying to hide.
The shirt I wore last week was darker red.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's getting lighter and lighter each time.
But the
one
I wore last week was a darker red than what I had worn the previous 2 weeks. So there, yeah.
Well, you know what you got to do is you got to, cut off part of your curtain that's out of the frame and make a shirt out of that. So then you'll just be a floating head with the microphone there.
But by next week, I plan to have I plan to have completed my transition to the green screen area, and I'll just wear a green shirt.
Cool.
Yep.
It's a great look. You should get an exercise ball like someone I know who did a live used to have. You can bounce up and down on the exercise ball, and so just have this floating head that's bouncing around.
Let's not say we did.
Oh no, that would look great, don't you think?
Sounds like too much work.
Well,
you sit on an exercise ball. It's like the size of a chair.
You could get the same effect by sitting still and having your camera mounted on a gimbal that just goes random directions.
That sounds expensive.
Yeah, that no, I don't like that one at all. Exercise ball would be much more fun, and you'd get exercise. Not inferring you need it. I'm just saying that.
I also might throw my back out.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
especially if the ball bursts.
I just, what price glory? It's
Well, Jenny, I don't see you being on an exercise ball.
no,
Now,
I'm far too ugly to be on camera.
is it glory or glory?
I'm coming to Minneapolis. You've pushed me too far.
All right.
Hilary. Hilary.
Yeah,
and I'm bringing my stick.
Oh,
You
is that
do-
a threat or a promise?
We'll see.
you
Depends
do
how
have
much
to be
how much
careful.
depends on how much cash you keep on hand.
Yep, you do have to be careful about, instigating people who live within driving distance of you.
I suppose.
So, yeah, I basically think that extends to, any neighboring state. Except, of course, that I'm still trying to instigate the Canadians to annex Minnesota.
See, you shouldn't just stop in Minnesota. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Upper Michigan,
Yep. Yeah, I think they
Washington,
should take the
Oregon,
whole upper
California,
Midwest.
everything that's called New England and Illinois.
Yeah, at least everything north of Chicago. Of course, Porpoise wants them to take Indiana as well, so.
No, mm-mm. No, 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 no. I hear the newest news stunt that the Donny boy has decided to spring upon us is that he's going to have the ICE or whoever he's going to make into his little slave paint the entire quote unquote wall black because it gets hot in the summer sun. And those guys won't be able to grab onto it to climb over the wall. Yeah. Once again, forgetting that there's a thing called ladders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Donnie, you're so stupid. How can you even breathe without instructions?
Don't we first need to actually have a wall before we're worried about what color we paint it?
Well, we've got parts of walls.
Yeah, I saw something on that during his first term in office, they actually built 56 miles of wall along a 2,000-mile border.
We have a concept of a wall.
Good one, Mage.
Yeah, he hasn't talked about replacing Obamacare lately to either. I guess that 2 weeks is going to extend out another couple of years, huh? Oof, oof.
Hey, Rian, thanks for stopping by.
Hi, Rian. I'm old, and so I don't remember if I've met you before.
She's on the Daily Atheist morning show.
Oh, okay. Well, that would explain why, because I haven't seen that show.
Yeah, I've only seen it a couple of times when I hadn't gotten to bed yet, because it starts at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Let's see here. Do 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 do.
Hello?
Hey.
Okay. I don't know. Things suddenly got quieter, so.
How's Jenny going quiet?
Yep.
Sorry, I went somewhere else for a moment or two.
Mm-hmm.
Literally or figuratively?
Well, nice to meet you, Rian. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Rian? Or Ryan? Rai.
Okay, she says like lion. So Ryan or Riri.
Rai. I always thought that was a cute name. I like Rai.
That's actually very close to what one of my girls called me when she was a toddler. Oh, I can't seem to get my back to pop today. Okay, well, we're approaching the 3-hour mark. Are we going to wrap it up or are we going to go on another topic?
I don't know. There's a 72 Firebird caught under a big giant compressed natural gas truck right now. I was kind of watching that. That stupid show Emergency is on in the background.
I don't know. If it's caught under a natural gas truck, I think the easy solution is just strike a match and that gas truck won't be there anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not gas. It's liquid hydrogen. So it won't blow up. Everybody will just freeze. Why does it say flammable on liquid hydrogen? Oh, hydrogen. Yes, of course. It's very flammable. Duh. Yep. I was thinking helium there. Yeah, I don't think anybody anywhere near that. I once had an automotive engineer, from BMW, no less, tell me that natural gas in a car as a propellant is safer than gasoline because the explosion goes up instead of out. It's like, wait a minute. Because gas is lighter than air.
Well,
it's like, dude, I haven't been to college chemistry, or I have been, but I failed. But I at least know that that's bullshit. How can you believe that?
That's not how explosions work.
Well, I was going to ask if the hydrogen truck actually weighs a bit less filled than it does empty.
Well, I would think it would.
Well,
when it's compressed to liquid, I don't think it does.
Right. It would weigh less than a truck with an equivalent volume of water.
Ooh, a spark has been made. There's fire present near the big bad boom boom. Oh, now the grass is on fire and following the accelerant that it was trickled on the ground to make the effect work well. Boom goes the car. But that wasn't the one under it. That was one off to the side.
Yeah, like that movie trope of where they've got like a line of gasoline and somebody drops a cigarette into the puddle. Yeah, it don't work that way.
Oh, this is funny.
If you've got enough liquid to make a puddle, it's going to put the flame out. It's not going to ignite.
These guys are taking cover two high freeway lanes away from the huge 50-foot tank of liquid hydrogen. Oh yeah, we'll be safe here. God, television is so stupid. Hey, I hear there's a new moon hanging around Uranus.
Yeah, I saw that last night that they've discovered a new one.
I didn't even know I
Does,
had the exam.
does Titan know about this?
I don't know.
Best internet name on the planet.
Well, you know why the Starship Enterprise is like toilet paper.
No,
Because
why?
it circles around Uranus looking for Klingons.
Yep.
Yeah, I was.
For those of you who don't know what we were referring to moments ago, there's this person on the internet that's kind of in a different area of this group, who's got the best name ever, and it's the first name is Titan, like the giant, the muscle Titan, and the last name is Uranus, and so the name is Titan Uranus. And I don't think they're gay, but
Actually, I think they might be.
well, whichever, it's still the most clever name ever.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
wish
know.
I would have thought of it.
I still think one of the greatest handles I've seen yet is Alias Fake Name.
Yep.
I did see one that was Dixon Cider. And let's see, another one was Arder Daddy Arder.
There was another real good one. I remember, but I don't remember. I remember there being a good one, but I don't remember what it was.
Hey, what? I will eventually get around to making up a list of the top 10 names I decided not to change my name to.
Okay,
Like,
that could.
well,
That,
the current one I'm using on StreamYards is Anarchist.
No, it needs to be A, juvenile, B, sexual, C, possible fart content, and piggy dirty. Did you also hear that one of the Gavin Newsom graphics that was created was a play on Kid Rock endorsing Gavin Newsom? And apparently that got Kid Rock upset, and now he's going to sue Gavin Newsom for using his likeness in the campaign without permission, and there's no campaign, of course. But he's all triggered.
Well, there's also the legal protection that doing parody of a public figure.
Yeah.
Is that AI image of him with with Hulk Hogan and some other guy putting their hands on Gavin Newsom?
I don't know. There's more than one with Kid Rock. The one I think it's about is one with two Kid Rocks side by side and some commentary and the joke below and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, at what age does a rock become an adult?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to ask Steve Bowman about that.
At least these jokes are getting bolder.
Whose jokes? Whose jokes are getting bolder? I'll try it one more time.
Mage was making a sloth girl joke there.
Yes.
Okay.
A large rock is a boulder.
Mm-hmm.
You get a sloth for it. Okay. Well, it seems that people are getting quiet, so I think we should wrap this up here.
Well, now we can without the time penalty. So
Yeah. Well, I figured by the time we went around, we would be past the 3-hour mark.
so what do
Okay.
you got going in the near future here, Perp?
Not really much online. Actually, I have been spending more time in the real world.
Ew.
Well, that's
Ugh,
sad, but
gross.
that
Ugh.
does happen.
Well, Molly's kids adopted me as their auntie, so now I've got additional responsibilities there.
Nice.
So yeah, for me, we still had the question of next week. Should we just schedule the show an hour later, or do you guys want to start it at the regular time and I'll be about an hour late coming in?
Yeah, like I said, if you want to start it at the regular time, I can handle it, no problem. It's up to you.
I just assume wait for an hour.
Okay.
Journey, what have you?
What have we got here?
Are you asking me to weigh in on the
Yeah.
timing question, or
Yeah, and chat to you too.
I know there's some way to do a poll in the side chat, but now I don't know how to do that.
Done by the
I guess
chat. Yeah.
I guess I would vote for waiting the extra hour. I mean, I'll do my best to have my studio all ship shape. Hopefully, well before then. But if push comes to shove, I might want that extra hour.
Okay, well, how about everybody in the side chat? Can we get some votes in there for which way you guys want to do it?
If you want to wait, type in wait. And if you don't want to wait, type in don't.
If you want Mage to start it at the regular time without me here, put in a 2. If you want to wait an extra hour, put in a 3.
Now, see, that just made it all that more confusing.
Yeah, that was the point. There is no 1.
Yeah, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock makes sense to me.
Right. Well, as long as you're in this time zone.
And if you want to wait for the clowns to show up, put one of those upside down question marks.
Oh man, you guys are making my brain bleed again. It's so messy.
Okay. I think we're getting a majority for starting an hour later than usual.
Okay. And if you want the kiddie pool full of pudding with a couple of little people and a monkey, well, that gets a little complicated.
Although, folks in the chat, stay tuned. I might be able to talk Perp into live streaming the doctor's appointment, so we could have it both ways. I'm not going to say that part.
Honestly, I think that I'm a detriment to my own channel, that it seems to perform better if I just let Mage do it.
But
I think that the show has actually performed better in weeks that I wasn't here.
I think you're putting yourself down unnecessarily. Of course, I don't have any statistics in front of me, so I'm just saying shit.
Yeah, Linda, I think that next week I have a doctor's appointment that starts the same time I normally start the show.
Just for 1 week.
Yeah, so just for next week we will start an hour later, and then the week after we will be back at our usual time.
And I guess there's a possibility I might still end up starting the show without you if you're late.
Yeah, no, I think that's why I'm saying we'll just start a full hour later, because I expect that I will be back, by like 2:45 anyway. The the clinic's just up the street from me, so it's like, as long as the doctor's not running late.
A quarter past Belgium. Well, everything's past Belgium. It's Belgium.
So
Man, the only thing I know is they make thick waffles.
So in a few weeks, I'm going to have a colonoscopy. Should I live stream that?
If the doctor will let you, yes, I think that'd be very educational for all of us.
Yeah, just have him, connect the Bluetooth from his scope to your cell phone.
Yeah, we don't need to see the entry. We just want to see the inside, Especially that part where they have to make that 90-degree bend.
Okay. Come on, people. Can't we go just 1 week without a vote to ban stool?
No. It's he's saying vulgar things again. Well, Belgium, we could forgive him for that.
Okay, well, unfinished. You've, of course, been talking about getting your new studio set up. What else have you got going on?
Let's see. So last weekend I recorded some footage of me like driving down a winding country road to use as like a intro shot. So I'm getting stuff together to start editing and creating content, and I plan to have like 7 or 8 episodes in the can before I start actually releasing it. Kind of excited about I've been talking about a channel for not quite 10 years, but it's been a minute.
Oh, that's like.
If you'd like, I have a driving shot you can have. It crams 5 minutes into 30 seconds.
That's not what I'm looking for.
I didn't mean 5 miles into 30 seconds.
That's still not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I had a similar plan that I was going to have a dozen videos ready before I opened up my channel, because then at least I would know that I've got one to play each month. But then I just wound up live streaming instead, and I still haven't got up to making a full dozen videos. I think I've got 10 now.
I've got a bunch of ideas for videos I need to get on.
Well, Mage, what do you have coming up? What's your Sunday show going to be?
Well, some of my bigger focus is going to be on Gene Roddenberry's birthday, and probably Star Trek as a whole. So that'll be probably what the theme of it is. And Jenny, we finished up Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle, so you can come back and.
Yeah, Mage, you're roboting all of a sudden, so it's getting hard to understand you.
Hello?
Yeah, you were roboting there, so it was getting hard to understand you.
Where'd you miss?
We lost you after Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, so the Sunday show will probably be on Star Trek as a whole. And Jenny, we finished up Sleeping Princess in the Demon Castle, so you can join us for that on Thursday again. And you guys need to choose another show or movie or what you want to watch.
Debbie does Dallas.
It's a classic that I've never seen.
I don't have that one, unfortunately.
I haven't seen it either. I don't want to. It was just the only piece of smut I could think of on the moment.
Yeah, I've heard things about that. Yeah, that original film and the subsequent sequels.
Well, it was made in the 70s, so it's not all that radical. It's
Yeah. But, it was one that really became very popular when the first VCRs were coming out.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to say, get a look at, I don't know, Beyond the Green Door with Marilyn Lang, and she was the Ivory Girl for a long time. Seriously, that movie got a lot of pearl clutchers going.
Yeah, I never saw that one either.
No, I haven't either. But there's
Yeah,
supposedly, or was that Deep Throat? I think that was Deep Throat instead. A scene where someone's having oral sex and the woman grabs the person's head, pulls it up, and says, "Mind if I smoke while you eat?" It was just a classic line. See, smoking was allowed in the 70s. It was. Never mind. I'll be quiet now.
No.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, Regios, that's when I was saying about Molly's kids adopting me, that her son volunteers at the Humane Society. So that's one of my jobs, is that when I pick him up, I have to frisk him to make sure he's not smuggling more kittens home.
Why, that's not a good thing to do.
Well, they also have enough cats in their house. They don't need more.
Yeah, decide on an anime or something to watch. See what was the recommendations I put up on here. Let's see, there was Miroku-chan, there was Dark Gathering, there was Other Side Picnic. So those are the ones I put as suggestions. But
I think Other Side Picnic is one that we were all interested in.
okay, the ones that with the coded lesbians.
Did you say coded or hooded?
Coded.
Coded. Oh.
Is it going to be a difficult code for us to break?
Nah, it's pretty overt.
What did they code them with?
Well, they don't say out loud, so.
Journey caught it. Thank you, Journey.
Okay, well, Regios is giving a recommendation for Other Side Picnic.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a sloth for you, Jenny. In the chat.
Thank you. Regios, by the way, 42. Well, I'm not much up to much of anything as usual. I actually am almost done with my next 3 chapters for Substack. My stuff requires a lot of very heavy editing, and usually 2 or 3 times in a row before it's presentable to human beings who read. If you don't read, it's perfect right now. But since you read, I have to go through it a few more times. It gets dark, but I try to keep the darkness fairly light. Boy, that's really a bad sentence. I try to keep the darkness not as intense.
What you mean is that you will be our...
But it does deal with negative things, and some who may have trigger points around suicide and depression should probably not read it.
I thought what you meant is that you will be our light in the darkness to guide us.
No, I'm not nearly that useful.
Okay, then I gotta get back to working on glow-in-the-dark cats.
Just remember, one of my childhood heroes was Vlad the Impaler. I'm not going to be a happy person for you. It's just not my thing.
Oh, I've in general become a more pleasant person since I've transitioned. I actually even occasionally talk to my neighbors instead of growling at them.
Reminds me of, and Purple, you having Finnish ancestry, you may appreciate this. I've heard a joke about, you know how you can tell a Finnish extrovert from other Finns?
No, what?
A Finnish extrovert looks at the shoes of the person he's actually talking to.
Yeah.
They beat you to it, Purple.
Yeah, I know I'd heard a reference to that somewhere before.
With the glow in the dark kitty?
Yep.
Glow in the dark kitty, fluorescent green cat, and could tell in the fight of AIDS.
I think we should start giving that option to parents when they or future parents when they're going to have a kid. Is do you want do you want us to work on and have the child glow? You know, you never lose them at night.
That's the start.
Save lots of money on night lights.
That's the start of my. That's the start of My Hero Academia.
What, a green glowing cat?
A glowing child.
Oh.
Oh, did you hear that in Georgia they have removed all four of the nests of radioactive hornets?
What about the radioactive shrimp? Oh, you didn't hear about that one?
No, I didn't hear about the shrimp, but yeah,
the FDA has recommended that you do not eat the shrimp that are believed to be irradiated that are at Walmart.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to push Walmart to do a recall on the shrimp.
Yeah, I heard that news report when I was in the middle of a batch. Honest to God.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Do not eat the shrimp.
Oh, well, okay. I probably already got whatever cadmium or something from there in me, so.
Yeah, but
here,
no,
have some thallium.
Yeah, in Georgia they actually discovered a hornet's nest, and they had originally said that they had destroyed all 3 of the nests. The last report I said they have now destroyed all 4 of the nests. I don't know how they can say all, because how do they know there isn't a nest they didn't find yet?
Did they talk about how they became irradiated?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing is that, the areas around them, the soil and the trees and all that, none of that was irradiated. It was only the hornet's nest, which means that the hornets had to be flying somewhere else to pick up the radiation and be bringing it back to build the nest there.
Well, remember, they're meat eaters. Maybe they found something dead that was irradiated.
Yep, that's actually what they're saying is the probable theory, that the hornets ate something else that was already infected.
Well, they caught them before they became giant monster hornets.
No, they already have those in the state of Washington. Oh, we eradicated those. Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, about the murder hornets. That again, how do they know that there isn't one nest they missed somewhere?
Exactly.
That is just going to start spreading again.
Although one cool thing I learned about those guys is that they have a number of defensive chemicals that they release depending on what's going on with their hive, and they found, I'm dead serious here, and they have found a way to that looks uncomfortable.
Mage found us an appropriate image.
And there was a guy who came up with a method that you capture one of those hornets and you damage it, and it lets out this pheromone that the other hornets come after to come to their rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And then they become just an absolute perfect target for destroying. I don't remember exactly how it worked not anymore, but it looked like a fairly effective thing to do.
Well, you would destroy most of the hornets, but the queen would still be in the hive. Yeah.
I wonder if the thinking might be, if there's one nest left, one nest may not constitute a stable breeding population.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, actually, for hive insects, it probably would. Because, hive insects that when the new queen flies out, she is pursued by drones from the same hive. So they don't necessarily, need to encounter another hive to keep spreading more nests, keep doing satellite nests.
Well, isn't it also that bees? I don't know if it's bees or hornets or both or what, have the ability, some particular type of drone that serves the queen all the time has the ability to morph into a queen if the queen were to die or something. Yeah, those look like some tasty
Yeah, I'm
bugs.
not sure about that
a lot
one.
of a lot of protein there.
Except that I'm pretty sure that those would be toxic to eat.
I don't know. There's some foods that are toxic until you cook them.
This is true too. Maybe the heat would break down the toxins. So anyway, I would like to thank all of our contributors to our channel here.
Who might that be?
Kitty the Atheist, Robert X, Greg Hartwick, Sandy Shore, Skitscrasher, Regiost, and Junie.
I've
Yeah,
seen some of those around lately.
A bunch of weird names.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Skitscrasher in a while. Or Robert X.
I mean, Kitty the Atheist. All kitties are atheists, okay? All of them.
No. A cat cannot be an atheist. It's impossible to not believe in a god when you believe you are a god.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that. I'm a dog person.
Well, and
And dog, spelled backwards, is
Well,
God.
yeah.
Just don't say "Hey, Tony" backwards.
Yeah.
Why not?
You not?
Why not?
Why not? Okay. I only
See,
worship
we had
worship my cats because my cats have at least proven to me they exist, which is more than any god has ever done.
We had two bars back home, the Why Not and the Why Not 2, and they were owned by a guy named Tony, so that one was not a surprise. And boy, did I make a bunch of money playing pool in the Why Not 2.
Oh, you were a hustler?
No, I wasn't good enough to
You
call
were
myself
in Hustler?
that, but I could certainly kick the butt of a lot of the weekend macho guys.
Yep.
They did not like me. You're just a faggot. Well, yeah, there's that.
I've been meaning to get back to tossing darts. I used to be pretty good at that. Just haven't done it in years.
Holy shit.
What now?
I'm just impressed with detail. There's an episode of MASH going on. I don't know what it's about, but Radar's pretending to look like Douglas MacArthur, and Hawkeye's there with a camera around his neck, and I identify the camera as a 1940s 50s Kodak medalist, which was just an incredibly capable camera for its day. And for them to have that kind of detail for year accuracy, temporal accuracy in a stupid TV series is amazing.
MASH was good for that, that it really did immerse you in the time period. Okay, well, with that, folks, we will see you all next week, 1 hour later than our usual time. So, take care all. Bye-bye.
Bye, Bonds.